Call 800-741-GOLD. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-741-4653 now. That's 800-741-GOLD. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
That ain't no way to have fun, son. I'm Chris Davis. Gunshots fired outside of a house in Lamont led Kern County deputies to a stash of guns and to arrest the person they say was shooting them off recklessly at a house party Wednesday night. 19-year-old Clesario Urias was arrested when deputies found shell casings outside the house on Cam Avenue and got a search warrant for the inside, finding an AK-47 and 3 pistols with the ammo. Urias was charged with discharge of a firearm in a grossly negligent manner, illegal possession of an assault weapon, and possession of a large-capacity magazine. This one is also from Lamont. The murder conviction of Jose de Jesus Alizquez Gomez, whose car hit a car driven by 3 women while he was high on meth, killing the women on November 3rd, 2024, has been overturned by a court of appeals. The reason? The prosecution made some significant mistakes in the way they presented their case. Alizquez Gomez is eligible to be tried again, and that has to be worked out by the court.
She must be so happy not on the 11th.
Trial
I know. Have you seen her yet? I haven't seen her yet.
74-year-old man accused of driving drunk and hitting several people.
Well, wasn't she the 11 weather person?
Bakersfield Christmas parade back in 2023. Jury selection.
They had to have given her a raise.
But abruptly was stopped by the judge.
Yeah. Have you talked to her?
Home. That is expected to pick back up Tuesday.
She had a little more scratch.
Holiday. If you get a call saying that someone you love has been
as a main anchor
money,
from weather person to anchor, that's 10 grand. Yeah, that's 10, 15 grand easy, if not more.
Hang up and call the police.
Yeah, you like her, huh?
Not
really.
I
don't know. I don't think she's that good either. Isn't that weird? Bailey doesn't like somebody?
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, however you may be viewing for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Friday. Right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at KERNradio.com. Chris Burdick producing on this 16th day of January. We've got a busy broadcast full of fun. One of 3 of our favorite guests coming up at the bottom of the hour. It's a Friday. And what is it, Chris Burdick?
We have Mouse Con coming up.
Mouse Con.
Con. C-O-N, convention.
Mouse Con.
Yes. Like the mouse? Disney?
Rick Bentley has guests for Mouse Con. He joins us at the bottom of the hour. Brandon Lang has returned to the fold. Yes, I confirmed it. I texted him this morning. We'll talk with him as we get ready for an incredible weekend of football. Some great playoff games that we'll go over once again. And the NCAA championship, where the Raiders' first-round pick will take Indiana to their first national championship. And I think, like, perhaps in the history of the university. I don't know. Type me up if you know. And then George Culver is going to join us, one of the finest pitching instructors in town. If you have a grandson or a son or even a daughter that's interested in pitching, George is one of the finest instructors. He's a former MLB player. He pitched a no-hitter for I always get this wrong. Was he with the Dodgers or the Phils?
I think he was with the Reds and he was playing the Phils. You asked him that last time, and I'm pretty sure he told
the Reds.
you.
It is the Reds, and he goes, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Just don't listen to me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And, there are more allegations being leveled against Timothy Busfield. This thing looks really bad. A 16-year-old girl who claims that this happened years ago and that she went to the studios and there was an investigation, but it was kind of blown off. She and her father are speaking up. This after Mr. Busfield turned himself in on allegations of him molesting a 7 and 8-year-old boy who are now 10 and 11. And he's in jail as we speak. You will hear the package that we have for you coming up at 5. I'm really saddened by this. I thought there was a possibility that perhaps he was not guilty, that he was innocent of these charges. But there have been several incidents now. Remember, we told you yesterday about another incident that Warner Brothers investigated just a couple of years ago and exonerated him as well. And I'm sorry, I know he has the presumption of innocence, but when things like this continue to pop up through your life, accusations from different children that you're a pedophile, that's either the greatest mass conspiracy or it's who you are. That's the issue of pedophilia, as we've talked about so many times. It's never something that pops up. That's why the Scrivener case is so bizarre, because it's rarely something that just suddenly pops up in your 40s. It's who you are. Now, I'm not smart enough to tell you how these people evolve into these sick, despicable human beings, but like I said, it's rarely something that all of a sudden you're 45 years old and you have a hankering for 14-year-olds. Doesn't really work like that. That's my unprofessional opinion. And I've got some audio. We finally sent Chris some audio of, you got both of them?
Oh, the lady? Yeah.
Taryn Smith. Yeah, she's, there's one where she's being circled by a flock of dolphins, and there's another where she had a rough night. She'll tell you about it. She is the young American woman who is, I'm not making this up. Oh, you got something?
Flock or school?
Ooh, school. Absolutely right. Flock would be birds. You're absolutely right. Thank you.
No, just talk to them.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Always tighten the brother up. Don't let me get away with crap.
Honestly, I'm probably wrong on that one too. There's probably a specific name for a group of dolphin.
Well, they're not fish. That's why I'm wondering if it's not school. They're mammals. They're not fish. So what would be a gaggle of mammals? I'm guessing school is the most, is the closest thing. What do you got?
A pod.
A pod of dolphins?
Pod of dolphin.
Oh, nice. Okay, very good. I like that. I love playing that. I love playing that. Flock of geese. What's the one that I always get that's so hard?
Murder of crows.
Murder of crows. Nice, nice. There's a bunch of herd of cows. Anyway, so we'll get into that. We'll hear from Taryn Smith, the young woman who's trying to row across the Atlantic. White people rowing across the Atlantic. I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, what if like a whale breaches and hits the boat? You guys are familiar with that kind of scenario, are you not? Chris was probably too young, but do you remember Mr. Tibbs' ribs?
I do not.
You're not old enough to remember Mr. Tibbs' ribs, so you're obviously not old enough to remember the fate of Mr. Tibbs. Mr. Tibbs' ribs, for folks new to our area or 31 and below, was a really, really good ribs place owned by an African-American man named Mr. Tibbs. His wife is still in town. She sells real estate. He's got a really attractive daughter who I was friends with years ago. She's a married woman, got kids. And Mr. Tibbs was a really nice man. And he went on a boating deal with two friends, and a whale, he's at the top of the boat, manning the boat. His two friends are somewhere down in the boat, and a whale breaches out of the water, hits the boat, and catapults Mr. Tibbs to they knew not where. That's how far he flew, and it was kind of a foggy day, and I was news director at Clear Channel at the time, and I got a hold of the 911 audio between his two friends who, if my memory serves, and this is like a quarter of a century ago, so don't hold me to this, but his two friends didn't know how to swim, and the boat was sinking, and they're calling 911 like, "Where's Tibbs? Where's Tibbs? We're drowning. We don't know what's going on." And dispatcher was like, calm down, calm down. And Mr. Tibbs died. As funny a scenario as it could be, as you could make it into, it was not funny. He died. They, as I remember, I think they couldn't determine whether he died on impact from the breaching or whether he drowned. I can't remember, but it was a horrible story. He was a really nice man, and his wife is a really nice woman. I'm pretty sure she's still selling real estate. And his daughter's friends a little bit with his daughter.
Yeah, I was too young for this. I don't remember this.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is about. I was at Clear Channel, so that makes it 2002, 2003.
Yeah, I'm reading here September 2002.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you got the story up there?
I do. Yeah.
Read the story.
Let's see. It depends.
Let's God forbid, let's go on my memory. 4 years ago.
A whale suddenly breached and crashed into a bow of a fishing boat, killing Bakersfield restaurant owner Jerry Tibbs, 51, owner of Tibbs Ribs.
51 years old.
Bakersfield or Barbecue Sunday when the whale hit and tossed him into the sea 5 miles off Port San Luis.
Horrible story. Horrible story. And for the Tibbs family, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. We were just talking about this woman that's trying to cross the Atlantic. And what if something like that happens? Or what if a shark rams her boat? Or what if a whale rams her boat or something? Or in the audio, she tells about she can't, apparently the boat is bottom heavy, so she can't be capsized because she said she had a rogue wave hit her, as you'll hear in the audio if you're still with us in the 5 o'clock hour. And again, don't forget, if you can't be with us in the 5 o'clock hour and you do want to hear this audio of both Terrence Smith and the Timothy Busfield piece, you can go back on YouTube and watch it anytime you'd like, or anything that we've done. Past stories with Donnie Youngblood, where we have reported things weeks ago that the Californian is just reporting this week. And they even did a story on Scrivener today and said that the sheriff told many outlets about what Scrivener said on the audio. That's what the paper said today. They could not attribute it to a radio station. They just couldn't. It just would have galled them. They said that Sheriff Youngblood told many media outlets what Kathy Scrivener, including the Californian. Y'all have been chasing me on this story forever. Forever. You just reported that the sheriff exonerated Cynthia Zimmer when the sheriff was on this show weeks ago and said that. Come on, Californian, catch up. And if you can't catch up, at least have the decency to attribute it to Ralph Bailey. Even the LA Times had the decency to attribute to me. The New York Post, Channel 17, Channel 23. I know it galls you to get your ass kicked by a radio guy, an ex-newspaper guy, but come on, show some ethics. He talked to several media outlets. Would you stop? Let's go. When we come back, we'll talk about the news of the day, which is what, Mr. Burdick?
I would assume the Kyle Tucker signing.
You damn Skippy. Can a team really get better after 2 World Championships? Is baseball going to have a work stoppage next year? Because owners are going to say, enough. We've got to have a salary cap. Enough. And you know what the ball players are going to say? Salary cap? Have you lost your minds? And I guarantee you, there will be a work stoppage. We're going to talk with George Culver at 4:30, get his thoughts on that. I think it's absolutely imminent. Because if we just keep getting better and better. And here's the thing. Well, I'll talk about it when we come back. Quick timeout. We're just getting started. Rick Bentley and Mouse Khan and guest at the bottom of the hour. Our man Brandon Lang on the NFL playoffs and the NCAA championship on Monday at 4:30. And our friend George Culver threw a no-hitter with the Boston Red Sox. I'm in a really good mood. Just pay no attention to me. Quick timeout. We're just getting started. CRBS on a Friday right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The JR
Hey, remind
Show,
me, we got to call
weekdays at
Taylor.
2 p.m.
It costs
It's her birthday
$7.5 million to do 2 blocks, and Andre's vision is to go 4 more blocks to the west and another block to the east, and you multiply that by 3, and you're getting $20 million in improvements down 6 blocks where, I don't know, another certain city councilman and his boys just happen to own 5 different properties.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You know, oddly, one of the things that I rarely talk about when I talk about KC Steakhouse is lunch. If you work downtown, if you work for the county or wherever on Truxton, it's not very far and it's real quick and it's very convenient. And the menu is similar, just smaller portions, and it is outstanding. And the variety on the menu that Chef Daniel has put together now is simply unbelievable. It's mostly a large groups that come to Casey Steakhouse. Not everybody's feeling red meat to celebrate someone's birthday or anniversary or whatever the event may be. And that's why Chef Daniel has advanced the menu. So there is Italian food. I love the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. The lobster mac and cheese is everybody's favorite. The fish dishes, the mahi-mahi, the swordfish, the halibut. Where would you rather be than on F Street? And don't forget about the Stockyard next door for meetings, banquets, or just having dinner and having some of the craft cocktails that are served next door. It's Casey's Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money. Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money. Albert can get me up to $1,000? Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch. I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code MONEY to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code MONEY to get up to $1,000. Use code MONEY to get up to $1,000.
If the power goes out in the middle of winter, do you have a way to stay warm? If not, you need the Vesta off-grid space heater from My Patriot Supply. It's compact, safe to use indoors, and best of all, it doesn't need electricity. Right now, you can get a free Vesta and other bonus gifts when you order the Winter Survival Kit from My Patriot Supply. Just go to mypatriotsupply.com to see everything included. That's mypatriotsupply.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
I know you want to leave.
Did I hear 2 songs at once?
Yeah, one loaded while the other one was playing, and I didn't
I know you want to leave me.
I
thought I was here. Am I having a stroke?
No, I'm trying to get a couple songs ahead, and I had one loading on YouTube, and I thought I had muted it.
All right, very good. All right, Phil, you're the sports guy. Chris Burdick, co-host of the Early Bird Special on ESPN 1230. So tighten me up if I get any of this wrong. But Mr. Tucker, Chicago Cub right fielder, a .273 career hitter, was signed by the Dodgers for a 4-year, $240 million contract. You know, I called Mark Langell. You know, I love Mark Langell to death.
Mm-hmm.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he is a company man.
Oh, yeah, of course he is.
I said, can you come on today and talk about Mr. Tucker's contract and talk about what I'm going to have George talk about, the salary cap and the fight that's going to ensue and the real possibility of a lockout.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, KT is not official yet, so I can't talk about that. And I can't talk about salary cap. Not official? Like, really?
Until he puts pen to paper, I guess.
Yes, until they put the jersey on him and they to smile and they put the hat on him and Stan Kasten's over here and Mark Walder's over here and Andrew Friedman's over here. And I mean, but I'm just saying that, I mean, I respect that on a certain level. That's a company man who waits until the man puts his name on the damn contract. But come on. But anyway, but I love Mark Lanto, especially if he's listening down in Pasadena. I love you, Mark. But come on. Rules are meant to be broken just a skosh. But nevertheless, 4 years, $240 million. And here's one thing that I want you to know as Dodger haters, the few that are out there. I didn't know this, but Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, has more money than the Guggenheims. He just doesn't spend it. They went after Kyle Tucker, and we outbid him. We gave him $20 million more. And think about it. Where would you rather play? With the two-time champions or the struggling Mets with Juan Soto and a franchise that has been spotty at best? They let Pete Alonso walk out the door. They let Edwin Diaz walk out the door. There are other teams that have money. It's not just us. We're just willing to spend it. We're willing to reinvest. And you can't blame the Dodgers because we have more fans than anybody else. The Dodgers were the first organization to break 1 million. The Dodgers were the first organization to break 2 million. But a decade ago, we were the first organization to break 3 million. And last year, we became the first organization where 4 million people paid a lot of money to watch these guys play baseball. How in the world can anybody fault the Dodger organization for doing what every good business does? And that is taking your exorbitant profits and putting it back into your business. That's what the Dodgers are doing. And one of the most artful ways we've ever seen. Chris, tell them what Shohei Ohtani is going to make in salary next year.
About $2 million.
About $2 million. $2 million. Is he going to get his 700? Of course he is. But it's all deferred so that it doesn't sap up all the money. And you can sign a Kyle Tucker. You can sign an Edwin Diaz. Basically, the league hates the Dodgers because we're the smartest, artful, genius organization in sports. They just did. I didn't copy it down, and I know I should have. I was at home. It was during the holidays. This thing where they ranked organizations on different slots, minor league, upper management, blah, blah, blah. The Dodgers were no lower than 3 in any of those categories. We were number 1 in minor leagues. We were number 1 in prospects. We were number 2 in free agent signings. The league is just jealous, this whole thing that we're ruining baseball. And that's going to be the thesis going into these collective bargaining talks, that the Dodgers are ruining it, that Pittsburgh can never compete, and blah, blah, blah. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But you won't pay. Paul Skeens, you really think he's going to end his career in Pittsburgh, really? You really think that? I don't. And that's what's killing baseball, that these people aren't creating a culture of winning. And who wants to stay there? You know what I'm saying? Who wants to go to the Jets? Who wants to go to an organization that's not going to win anytime soon? Just saying. What else do we know about this contract? There are opt-outs in 27 and 28. Mm-hmm. He got a $64 million signing bonus.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, he got paid for a whole year just for signing.
Just for signing your name. Here's a check for $64 million. It's a good thing I'm not an athlete, because I'd be the laziest son of a gun. I'd be out there shagging balls. I dropped it. I got 64 million.
Oops. Oh, well. I got 64 million reasons why I don't care.
Guaranteed. They can come in tomorrow. I got 64. 10 of it's in the Cayman Islands. Another 10 is in Switzerland. And I'm living off the 40. It's tough, but I'm sacrificing. We're down to 3 days a week of lobster. So, I'm making it. What else do we know about him? 4-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, 1-time Gold Glove, and as I mentioned, He's got a 273 batting average. He had a subpar season last year because of a right hand fracture.
Second half of it, but yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say, to prove that it was the hand, he had 17 home runs before the All-Star game, before he hurt his hand. So as long as he's healthy, I feel good about this guy. Do you assume they'll move Teo to left field?
That's my assumption, yeah. Because I was trying to figure that out last night, how it's all going to work in the field.
They have to. Because, I mean, he's a Golden Glover, and Teo looked ridiculous out there at times. Yeah. Ridiculous. And I love Teo. But even in the playoffs, he misplayed a couple of balls. Yeah, he made a nice relay to Tommy Edmonds that got the guy at third, I believe it was. Yeah, third base, or was that at home?
I think it was at third.
It was at third. I think it was when Edmund made that. No, Edmund made the sliding play that got him at third. It was a play at home. It was a play at home plate, was the relay from Teo. But other than that, he has a bad jump on the ball. He doesn't have a great arm. And like we say, Kyle Tucker is an all-star and Gold Glover. So this is gargantuan. This is absolutely gargantuan. And, again, we'll talk with George Culver at 4:30 to talk about the possibility of a lockout and what this means. Will there be a salary cap? What do you think?
Yeah.
You think inevitably the players will have to give in?
Well, I have a retort, not necessarily towards the argument of they're ruining baseball, but it's just some teams can't make the money the Dodgers and the Yankees can.
No, and never will.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes it unfair.
But a Toronto team went from last place to the World Series.
There's always the outlier. But I'm just saying in general, we can't necessarily assume that anybody but the Dodgers or Yankees can pay a guy like Kyle Tucker this kind of money.
By the way, Bo Bichette left Toronto.
Yep. He's at the Mets now.
Yeah. Quick timeout. Rick Bentley is next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With us are news. I'm Keith Peters in Washington as Iran returns to an uneasy calm after protests led to a violent crackdown. A senior cleric is calling for the death penalty for detained demonstrators. Ayatollah Ahmad Hatami's sermon Friday also threatened President Trump. However, Trump struck a conciliatory tone, thanking Iran's leaders for not executing hundreds of protesters so far, signaling he may be backing away from military action. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear an appeal from agrochemical manufacturer Bayer to block thousands of state lawsuits, alleging it failed to warn people its popular weed killer could cause cancer. The justices said Friday they'll consider whether the Environmental Protection Agency's approval of the Roundup weed killer without a cancer warning should rule out state court claims. This is SRN
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. Shell casings outside a house party on Cam Avenue in northern Lamont clued Kern County deputies in Wednesday night, and they say when they got a warrant, they found 3 pistols and an AK-47 inside the house and arrested 19-year-old Clisario Urias on a variety pack of charges. The murder conviction of Jose de Jesus Velasquez Gomez has been overturned because of mistakes by the prosecution. He was convicted of driving high on meth and causing a wreck in Lamont that killed 3 women November 3rd, 2024. Cal State Bakersfield's new STEM building is now being built at a cost of $83 million with a groundbreaking ceremony that was held Thursday morning. I'm Chris Davis in the KER Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for Sangera Subaru. I can't believe it's 2026, but here we are, and I say it's time to relax after all the holiday hustle and bustle. But obviously, there's a but coming. There always is. But for my buddies over at Sangera, they are ramping up for 2026 with some incredible lease offers on new Subarus, like a new 2025 Crosstrek Premium CVT. Now through February 2nd, you can lease one for just $150 $149 a month. That's right, a 2025 Crosstrek for just $149 a month for 36 months with $5,100 due at signing. And of course, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive, get you where you're going every time. This offer does end on February 2nd, so stop by and see Damon and Hassan and the whole gang. Pick out your Crosstrek and drive home in a brand new Subaru in 2026. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall. Through February 2nd, 2026. Lease 2025 Crosstrek Premium CPT model code SRB-14 for $149 a month on a 36-month lease. $5,100 due at lease signing plus tax and license. Your security deposit 10,000 mile per year limit. 15 cent per mile overage. MSRP $32,688. VIN number SH325603. Financing for well-qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends 2/2/26.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, we're pretty much topped off California's drought-free, but we'll check in the latest in water news with the best in the business. That's Lois Henry from SJVwater.org. We'll have football stuff, and we'll have state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
Very
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
And your miles and miles from your nice warm bed. You just remember what
Mr. Bentley has told our guests just how ignorant I am of this, so I'm assuming this has something to do with what we're about to discuss.
Toy Story, man. Come on. Oh.
Sorry. No, I've never seen Toy Story. Sorry.
But to be fair, there's like 9,999 movies you haven't seen. So
that's very true.
Yeah, so odds of you not having seen a film are very high.
very, very. Yes, particularly if they're in the 21st century.
That's the Randy Newman theme from
Toy Story.
Yeah,
I knew that. No, I didn't. Yeah. With us today, along with Rick Bentley, as he appears with us every Friday, is Emily Ricks Hahn and Steve Wyatt. Those viewing on YouTube can see. And MouseCon is this weekend, and I'll turn it over to our guest, Mr. Bentley, to talk to our guests as well.
Okay, well, it's the 6th annual MouseCon. It's going to be going on at the fairgrounds on Sunday. MouseCon is a grouping of vendors, fans of Disney, and celebrity guests. And Emily is one of the big celebrities that's going to be out at the fairgrounds this Sunday. Emily had is in what I consider one of the films that has made more adults cry than any other film in history. She was a voice in Toy Story 3.
Wow. She
voiced the character of Bonnie. Yeah. And tell us a little bit about Bonnie for those maybe like Ralph who've never seen it. And I'm assuming there's probably more people who have seen it than haven't, but go ahead.
So, I guess you've never seen any of the Toy Stories,
No,
right? Okay,
I'm sorry, I
so in Toy Story 1 and 2, there's this beloved character, Andy, who grows up with his toys. And
is this Mr. Hanks?
No, this is John Morris, who
Okay.
who plays Andy, and Tom Hanks plays Woody.
Okay.
And in the third
cowboy.
movie,
Okay.
and in the third movie, Andy has to give his toys away because he's going off to college, and I receive.
Sorry.
And I receive the toys. Bonnie receives the toys.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, it's really just, I guess Toy Story is a tale about innocence and youth and growing up and how we all go through different changes and phases, and specifically how we go through those shifts with our toys.
Yeah,
From
Ralph,
their
and
perspective.
you don't realize how many adults I've talked to who love this movie simply because Andy's moment where he's going off to college and it's that moment of growing up when you realize you're moving from your childhood into adulthood. It really, I think it resonates with so many people. And so I think that's why the film is so popular. And to me, I feel like Toy Story 3 of all of the and there's a 5th one coming up. I think it's the best of them all because that ending is so emotional and so beautiful. The whole film's that way. So yeah, and again, her character Bonnie, which you voiced when you were very, 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 very young, didn't you?
I voiced her from ages 8 to 14, and now I'm 25. So
Wow. So you're in all the films?
I'm in the third one, and then I did the short films and video games, and I did a talking Bonnie doll.
Wow. How does one get into the voice business?
I was super lucky. I was doing community theater in Ojai, California, and a lovely woman named Janine, who was a manager, spotted me and took me to an agency in LA, who I'm still with today. And it was my first audition with the agency, CESD, and I had a lot of luck, and I was trying to pursue any acting opportunities that were in my small town.
Wow.
Yeah, Ralph, I think the interesting thing about, because Emily was so young, they just didn't give her a script and said, read this. And you almost had to be coached through the whole. In fact, she didn't even know the ending of the movie until you actually saw the film, right?
It wasn't until I was at the premiere that I found out my character got the toys, which was huge moment for me because I had grown up watching Andy have all the toys. So he was part of my childhood, and I had no idea my character received the toys at the end of the movie.
But to actually record your lines, they were fed to you, right?
Yes, our director, Lee Unkrich, he would just tell me the lines to say, and I would say them back.
Yeah, do you remember the lines now?
Should I do one?
Sure.
Okay, this is a 25-year-old sounding like an 8-year-old. So.
Okay, it's all right.
Move over, Mr. Pickleboots. We have a guest.
There's that one.
Wow.
What else does she say?
Isn't there one? My dinosaur.
My dinosaur.
Yeah, see?
She says, all the toy lines. She's got a wild imagination, so she's constantly building scenarios in her head.
That's pretty cool.
I want to say about this particular movie, Quentin Tarantino has it on one of his top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
And that says a lot.
That really does.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Google movie.
That puts it in the Godfather level.
Exactly. I mean, this is
I've only
Quentin
seen 2
Tarantino,
movies,
and
yeah.
it's in his top 5 movies of all time.
Yeah, Steve, can you expand a little bit more? I mean, as lovely as Emily is, you've got a few other guests. Who else is going to be there?
We have Anthony Gonzalez and Alana Ubach. They were Miguel and Mama Imelda in Coco.
Yeah. That's not a hot drink. Okay.
No.
We don't have to accentuate my ignorance.
And Alana Ubach has done so many other films. Like the Brady Bunch movie.
Yep.
She was she was Marsha Brady's friend.
I've seen it.
Okay. So you know the friend who was in love with her? That was her. She was in the Legally Blonde movies as Reese Witherspoon's the 2 friends that she had in college.
Seen it.
She was
20th
the
century.
short, dark-haired one. The movie Ted had a spinoff where they did a series. They just finished season 2.
Right.
She plays the mom in that. She actually has done hundreds of roles. She was in with Thomas Jane Hung. She was in that series. She's just done a ton of movies and stuff. So she's actually a pretty big star. And I've met her a couple times, 3 or 4 times, and she's one of the sweetest ladies in the world. That's why she's driving up for this. Emily met her for the first time.
She's an angel. She's amazing, and I look up to her.
Yeah. Then we have Tony Alonso, who is the second voice for Donald Duck. So the original voice when he passed away, Tony was his protege.
Right.
So we have the official, and he's an official Disney legend. We have Rick Farmelo, who is an animator. He worked on Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. He's worked on almost every Disney film as an animator. Little Mermaid, everything. So we have animators there. We have Darth Vader coming.
Wow.
C. Andrew Nelson played when George Lucas did the extended movies for Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and filmed all the new scenes. David Prowse he was too old to carry the costume. And C. Andrew Nelson worked as an animator for Lucas. And they had asked him to wear the costume at a couple benefit things before. So since he had acting ability also, and he's an animator, they had him play Darth Vader in the extended film. So he's actually in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back as Darth Vader in the extended scenes.
Wow. What a great gig.
Yeah.
Google it.
And what a great lineup. I mean,
and Darlene Carr.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I get tired of going to these major cons like in LA and San Diego because there's such a crush of people. And the cons here are a great opportunity. If if you wanted to talk to Emily about her career, you're going to have that opportunity. You're not going to have to stand in line for 4 hours or maybe not even get near her long enough. And so these kind of local cons need to be supported because it is giving local people who are, we have a lot of Disney fans here, a chance to access in a way that you're not going to get at even in San Francisco or anywhere else. It's just, it is a golden opportunity. And again, just picking Emily's brain about what she's done, it's such an insight. And if you love Disney movies, knowing a little bit more behind the scenes, like they were feeding her lines and she didn't know the outcome and that sort of thing. I find that so fascinating, and I think a lot of Disney fans do also.
Yeah. Does this travel all over the nation?
No, I started it in the Bay Area with our Bay Area Mouse Con, and it started to work well because I've been collecting Disney since 1974. I've been a big fan. And then I wanted to try it somewhere else. So I thought, well, since I live here, I'll try it in Bakersfield, and it's been very successful. Again, with a $12 admission, $10 in advance, we don't get rich off this.
Yeah.
We do it out of love. I mean, perfect example, Darlene Carr's coming. And you're like, who? Well, Darlene Carr is actually a pretty big name. She was in Streets of San Francisco with Carl Malden and Michael Douglas and with Richard Hatch. She was the secretary. She was in Battlestar Galactica. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Rockford
Deep
Files?
Space Nine. Yeah. But in the movie The Jungle Book, with the iconic 1969 film, at the end of The Jungle Book, when the girl, Mowgli sees that girl getting water and she sings that iconic song, we've come to fetch the water. I was 5 when that came out. I was so in love with that voice. And I'm going to meet her now. I've never met her. So there's some, I just, for me as a fan and for the fans, because I'm a big fan too. And it turns out she just lives right here in Tehachapi too.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we'll come and get her down for you on the show.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Yeah. She's just one of the most, I've had 3 or 4 long phone conversations with her. She's just such a beautiful person. And I'm actually pulling out my figurines of the girl from Jungle Book so I can get stuff signed too. I'm a big fan.
Steve, before we go on, I want to make sure you talked about the price of admission. It's 12 and under, get in free, right?
Right. All kids are free, 12 and under. Most of these big events, it's like if you get an adult pass, you can bring 1 kid in, Not me. I don't care. If you're a teacher and you pay for an admission that can bring in 300 kids, bring them. I don't care. Let's have some fun. This is a kids event and an adults event. We have a costume contest at 4:00. Rick will be there doing our panels. It's a fun day.
Yeah, and it's family friendly.
Absolutely.
As often, these are the kind of projects I look for to be able to promote, that you can take grandma and the kids and everybody, it's going to be safe and fun for everybody, because so many of us grew up on Disney. I mean, I was talking earlier about one of my darkest memories of growing up was Old Yeller. I cannot watch that movie again, but how long ago was that? And it still resonates with me. So Disney resonates with us through our lives. So grandparents and their offsprings and those offsprings and those offsprings. I mean, it's fun for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Emily, I'm a young girl who is caught in his grandparents' or parents' car right now, listening to the show.
Okay.
And interested in hearing about your career, and they may be interested in getting into acting. What advice would you give them? How did you get started?
I mean, I guess my biggest advice, which is, first of all, you can do it. Anybody can do it. I think there's a chronic perception that Hollywood is like secluded and elite, but it's really, I think anyone can who really wants it can be an actor.
How old were you when you got the bug?
I was 8 when I started doing community theater. So that's the other thing I would say. It's like, no, there's no such thing as a small opportunity, no matter where you're at. I mean, I was living in a town with less than 10,000 people doing community theater, and that's what altered my path and gave me this amazing experience. So truly, like, there's no such thing as a small opportunity. If you have classes in front of you or a community theater, like it's just any way you can get your foot in the door, just take that. For me, it was community theater. So yeah, just go for it. Go for whatever opportunities are in front of you.
Yeah.
Ellie, can you talk a little bit? How much of it is patience, knowing that
A lot.
there could be a long time between jobs,
and a lot of no's.
A lot of no's.
Yeah, and how much is it having to have a thick skin? Because rejection it comes constant. I know in Hollywood. So are those two sort of keys you have to be ready to deal with?
I've probably not booked 99% of the things I've gone out on.
Wow.
So I mean, you have to take a lot of shots and be okay with a lot of misses. But then that one shot that goes in could change your life. And for me, I mean, Toy Story changed my life. But I still audition and I still don't get roles. And yeah, it's just kind of part of it. But it's also just, I think, part of life too. Like
I was just going to say,
success is taking a lot of shots and missing a lot, and then one goes in. I mean, it's
can't score if you don't shoot.
Yeah, so true. I mean, I think you have to have a very thick skin. I mean, it can be a very competitive space. I try to not look at it like that. I don't look at it like that. Yeah. But yeah, you have to kind of just not pay attention to any of that. And if somebody doesn't like you, I've had casting directors tell me I had no depth and I was a horrible actor. I mean, I've been told everything, and like yeah, you just got to keep going, because time in a system is invaluable. And yeah, you have to have a thick skin, but I think as long as you're patient and willing to take a lot of shots that don't necessarily have immediate gratification, you're good. Like as long as you can do that, you're good.
Yeah. But at some degree, you're taking control of your own life right now you've gone into music.
Yes.
Can you just talk a little bit about that?
So I started making songs when I was 13, but didn't really start taking it seriously until I was maybe 18 or 19. And now I'm getting ready to release my debut EP called Dear Dad. It's 5 songs about my dad who passed away when I was 12. And I love the songs. I've written all of them on piano or guitar, and they're all going to be on this EP, and there'll be a musical documentary to go along with it.
Well, where can I mean, if I want to hear it, where would I go?
It will be on Spotify, all streaming platforms.
Okay.
And yeah, and I'll post about it on all my social medias. I'm Emily Ricks.
And what kind what genre? Is it pop? Is it country? Is it?
It's singer-songwriter.
Gregorian chant?
Yes, it's Gregorian chant. No, it's singer-songwriter. It's pretty stripped down. It's mainly most of the songs are guitar, piano, not a ton of accents, like other instruments. So it's pretty stripped down. It's singer-songwriter, and like I'm trying to think of what music, if you listen to a certain kind of music, who would like this. But if you like country, if you like singer-songwriter, okay. Like very stripped down. Like if you like Joni Mitchell, hopefully you would like this.
Yeah. Hey, before we run out of time, I do want to give you the chance to apologize.
Oh, for what?
Oh, this ought to be rich.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
For all the pain that you've caused residents of Kern County.
Of Kern County?
Yes.
For
all the bruised shins.
Bruised shins?
During your soccer days.
Oh, that is true.
You competed up here?
I did. I was on a travel team, and I came up here for a tournament. But I don't know if I need to apologize, because we lost pretty badly.
Oh, okay.
So
well, then I'd like to apologize to the people of Kern County.
You know what? I think we deserve an apology.
That's funny. Steve Wyatt and Emily Ricks Hahn are our guests, along with our Friday regular from KGT 17, Rick Bentley. Steve, how did you get it all involved in this? How did you become obsessed with MouseCon?
Well, with MouseCon, it's pretty simple. I love Disney. I've been putting on shows since 1979. I've been going to Comic-Con since 76. I've been in the comic book world, because we also put on Bakersfield Comic-Con, and then the anime show, Bake Anime. I've been selling vintage comics since the 70s. This is my world. I love it. But I've been collecting Disney. I worked at a flea market when I was 10 years old. Worked for a guy every weekend, 2 days a week, made $3 a day. And it was a comic stall about the size of this room we're in. And one day a guy walked in, and he had this Dumbo porcelain figure, a baby Dumbo, and he plops it down. And he's like, give me $2 for this. And I was looking at it. I made $3 a day in trade. It wasn't even cash. And I turned to my boss, and I'm like, can I borrow $2? And I bought it. And I just stared at it for a week till the next weekend. And I just fell in love with the art of it. because it's porcelain. It's beautiful. And then the next weekend, I'd always walk the flea market before going into to the stall that I worked at, because it was an inside a building stall. And I bought a Pongo Perdita, from 101 Dalmatians, and Duchess from the Aristocats porcelain Enesco figures from the 60s. And I was hooked. I mean, all my friends in high school knew I was the comic book guy. Nobody knew I had this collection of Disney. And I've been a Disney fan forever. And I put on shows for a living. And one day I was driving home, just do, and the name MouseCon, because that's how I drive, and the name MouseCon just popped in my head. And I called my wife right then. I'm like, why aren't I doing this? We know so many animators, so many actors, so many artists. And she's like, why aren't you doing this? So we just did it. Wow. I mean, it's for love. I mean, the cost of putting on these shows and having a $12 admission, we don't make money on it. Yeah. We do it out of love. Really? Like I said about meeting Darlene Carr, I've met and become friends with so many artists and guests because of this. You think me and Emily's going to walk away from here and we'll never talk again? No, we're going to be friends.
We're friends.
You know what I mean? And that's the part I love about it, because it's the friendships. Yeah. And another part of doing these shows, the guy that the couple that'll be running my green room here, they met at one of my shows in line to meet a guest. Then they had a class together at the junior college here, and they was like, "Oh, you're that person I was talking to in line." And then their first date was my next show.
Really?
And then a year and a half later at Big Anime, he on stage
dropped to
a knee and he proposed. And a year after that, at Bakersfield Comic Con, I married them at the show.
Wow,
and
that's amazing.
The guy that runs my costume contest came to his first show when we were at the DoubleTree right over here, or up there, and he was Iron Man. And now his whole group of the costume cosplayers, they're all friends that have met at this show. That none of them knew each other before. They run the costume contest for me and all. They're all friends that have met because of these shows. It's the relationships you grow. It's the people. That's why I do this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll never be rich, but I'm lucky enough to have 20 people I can call my best friend. Most people have one.
Yeah.
And I have 100 people that I can call a close friend, all because of this world we lived in.
Yeah. You must come up here a lot because you seem very familiar with Bakersfield. Oh, you do?
About 21 years ago, we lived in Sacramento. We grew up in the Bay Area. First 20 years there, second 20 years in Sacramento. And we found out we could buy a house. And I had a friend who was becoming a real estate agent here. And we looked up there and it was like, okay, we got approved for this much. Well, I can buy a fixer-upper up there. But what we could buy here, we're in the Stockdale and Allen area. Yeah. It was just a beautiful house and I could afford it. And a guy who sells funny books for a living can live nice here.
Yeah, sure.
And
I didn't know that. That's
so no, I live here. This is my home. That's why I brought this to this community.
Yeah,
when there was no Bakersfield Comic Con, I was here for 2 years and I started that. And then the fans actually came to me and said, we want an anime show. So I helped manage the big one in Sacramento, Sac Anime. It's like a 30,000 person show. And I went to the owner, he's a close friend, and I'm like, hey, let's do one down here. And he said, okay. So that's how that started, because we started it for the fans. I went to the fans, I got on the microphones, said, anyone interested, come out here. And like 250 people came out. And I said, I will do this for you, but you have to support me. I don't know anything about anime, but I will put on the show for you, but you got to support me. And they did. Now it's a huge show.
Yeah.
And that's kind of MouseCon. We're just a bunch of fans, and my staff, they're my family that do this. They're my people.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably talk about that. This is your second MouseCon, right?
This is my second MouseCon.
When in the first MouseCon, when people come up to, what I like about Disney fans is it covers all ages, all gender, all ethnicities. It's just everybody is a Disney fan. Did you see that in that first MouseCon?
Yeah, I mean it's everybody from every age. It's such a beautiful experience. I mean, it's for the whole family. It's like Disney. I mean, MouseCon is like Disneyland. No, people love Disneyland no matter what age you are.
Yeah. And again, I know a lot of cons. People get focused in on certain things, and they don't. It's almost like a click type thing. There is no. I've never seen that at a mouse con. It's always just this sort of general feeling of happiness because here we are. We're in a world that we love, and again have passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
So
let's get that information out for everybody.
Yeah. Okay. The show's the 18th, so it's this Sunday, 10 to 5. It's in Building 1 at the fairgrounds. Parking across the street at the fairgrounds is only $5, which is a cool thing. We get to negotiate down instead of how much they charge at the fair.
Yeah, no kidding.
And we will have food there. We have the old owners from Ben and Jerry's will be there, and they have hot dogs there. And it's affordable food. It's not fair food. You know, a bottle of water won't cost you $6.
Right.
It's going to cost you $1.50. A hot dog is only kind of cost you, $2, not $17. You know,
outstanding.
So we have good food there, and you can spend the whole day talking to people, doing panels, looking for things to shop, meeting other fans.
Yeah, outstanding.
And make sure you go by and say hi to Emily.
Absolutely.
Yes. Come say hi.
I got about 1:30. I would be negligent if I did not get your thoughts on the Golden Globes last weekend. Real quick.
They went according to, I put out my top 10 list of movies for my favorite films of the year. All but one of the winners came off of my top 10 list. So,
well, of course.
Yeah, I had not seen Secret Agent, the film from Brazil.
What did you think of Nikki Glaser?
I thought Nikki nailed it. I don't know if she'll be back next year. She signed for 3, but she really did rip into CBS.
A little bit. I thought it got a little more political than I thought they would.
It did. I don't know if she'll be back, but they should bring her back because she was so good.
Rick, as always, Steve Wyatt, thank you so much for what you do for our community. And Emily, thanks for coming up and thanks for coming on the program. I know everybody's going to be excited to come meet you this weekend.
I'm excited.
Thank you guys so much. Got to take a quick time out. We come back. We'll talk to our good friend Brandon Lang. And then at the bottom of the hour, George Culver is going to talk about the big Dodgers signing of Kyle Tucker. That's all coming up. It's TRBS. I would stick around if I you.
That was outstanding. That was really cool. Wow, man, I didn't know you were local. That's cool. That is outstanding.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM.
Good luck with your
Bakersfield.
career.
Online at KERNradio.com.
Thank you very much.
Chris Allen from Town Hall.
Good luck this weekend. Thank you, sir. That was great.
One of Iran's religious leaders has demanded the death penalty for detained protesters during Friday prayers today.
As Iran returns to uneasy calm after a wave of protests that drew a harsh, bloody crackdown, a senior hardline cleric in Tehran is calling for the death penalty for detained demonstrators and directly threatened U.S. President Donald Trump. The harsh repression that has left several thousand people dead appears to have succeeded in stifling the demonstrations. The U.S.-based human rights activist news agency says the death toll has reached at least 2,797 people, adding that that number will likely increase. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Flu cases in the United States are down, but another surge may be on the way.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention posted the latest data showing a big drop in flu hospitalizations and a smaller but significant decrease in medical office visits due to flu-like illness.
They've been doing this
the number
for a
of
couple of
states
years
reporting
now.
high flu activity also fell from 44 to 36. But that doesn't mean the season is over, especially for the flu. CDC officials say that second surges in flu activity often happen after the winter holidays. So far this season, there have been at least 18 million flu illnesses and 230,000 hospitalizations. I'm Haya Panjwani.
Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado says she's confident of her country's eventual transition to democracy after the U.S. military ousted former President Nicolas Maduro. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 83 points today, the NASDAQ dropping 14, the S&P 500 declining by 4, and oil up to $59.45 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
They say timing is everything in the gold and silver markets, and it's true. Dennis Prager here for AmFed Coin and Bullion. Although you can buy at the right time, if you buy the wrong coins, you may not make a profit. When gold was $400 an ounce, many people were talked into buying high-grade old gold and silver collector's coins. Unfortunately, most of the people who bought these so-called semi-numismatic coins, like the $20 St. Gordon's and Liberty Head gold coins, have not broken even on their investment. Incredible, given that gold has risen approximately 525% since then. So while timing is everything, if you buy the wrong coins, the timing simply doesn't matter. Having a dealer who cares about positioning you in the right types of coins or bullion will mean more to your portfolio than anything else. That's why I deal with Nick Rovich and AmFed Coin and Bullion. Whether you're buying or selling, call 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. Or go to AmericanFederal.com, AmericanFederal.com.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
That ain't no way to have fun, son. I'm Chris Davis. Gunshots fired outside of a house in Lamont led Kern County deputies to a stash of guns and to arrest the person they say was shooting them off recklessly at a house party Wednesday night. 19-year-old Clisario Urias was arrested when deputies found shell casings outside the house on Cam Avenue and got a search warrant for the inside, finding an AK-47 and 3 pistols with the ammo. Urias was charged with discharge of a firearm in a grossly negligent manner, illegal possession of an assault weapon, and possession of a large-capacity magazine. This one is also from Lamont. The murder conviction of Jose de Jesus Velasquez Gomez, whose car hit a car driven by 3 women while he was high on meth, killing the women on November 3rd, 2024, has been overturned by a court of appeals. The reason? The prosecution made some significant mistakes in the way they presented their case. Velasquez Gomez is eligible to be tried again, and that has to be worked out by the court.
Show me
And the
Mets
Alan
owner
Booth
Steve
trial
Cohen.
is finally happening. He's the 74-year-old man accused of driving drunk and hitting several people with his pickup truck at the Bakersfield Christmas parade back in 2023. Jury selection started Thursday morning, but abruptly was stopped by the judge, who sent everybody home. That is expected to pick back up Tuesday after the Martin Luther King holiday. If you get a call saying that someone you love has been kidnapped and you need to send ransom money, that is likely a scam, say police in Delano. They are warning people that it's been happening there on their social media pages. They say if you do get one of those calls, hang up and call the police. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You gotta get a post like this. Bada bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Friday. Still lots to do. Coming up, bottom of the hour, our good friend and former MLB pitcher, man who threw a no-hitter for the Cincinnati Reds, former Dodger, George Culver is going to join us. We'll discuss Kyle Tucker and his $64 million guarantee just to sign his name and his $60 million salary over a 4-year period. But most importantly, we'll talk with George about possible work stoppage and whether or not there'll be a salary cap installed in Major League Baseball. We'll get into that. And we've got more information on Timothy Busfield. There are additional accusations coming forward beyond just the 2 boys that he's currently sitting in jail for. He is still behind bars. He was not provided bail and is going to stay in jail until his preliminary hearing, which is kind of harsh. We'll get into that. And like I said, you'll hear from Taryn Smith, this crazy young woman who is rowing her way across the Atlantic. I'm not making that up. White people, crazy white people. Speaking of crazy white people. Reminds me of Tubbs and Lord. Tubbs and don't tell me. Tubbs and
Sonny.
What was the other guys?
Sonny.
Oh,
Sonny
that's right.
Crockett.
That's right. Sonny Crockett. How could I forget that? Good Googling, Moogling.
So good.
Yeah. What's going on, boy?
It's only fitting that song plays because that's the theme of the Miami Indiana game.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a moment. I'm gonna shock you with how I break that one down.
We got a great 3-day weekend coming up. Excited about this.
Yeah.
Man. A lot of great football.
I can't pick my nose in college basketball this week, but it's been a hell of a run in college football. Bowl season 10-4, and college football itself for the season 38-22. It's been great, and I think I got a really good feel of the national championship game. But Costa Rica's been great. Leave tomorrow, back stateside. Nothing better than body surfing like 8-foot waves. It's just, that's an 8-foot wave that you feel the undertow, and you're like, I can't imagine these guys that are surfing 40, 50-foot waves. It's just, it's scary to think there's guys that, and then there's the 100-foot wave that a guy said he'd pay $1 million. And you go on YouTube, you see these guys surfing 90-foot waves. It's like the side of a building. It's unreal. And Ellen and I were actually going to go to Portugal to see the 90, 100-foot waves. There's a town you can go, and the time of year we were going is when the waves get that big. They say the ocean bed where these waves are is like a mini Grand Canyon, which is why the waves get so big. So, just fascinating. But I've said it before, Aaron Rodgers' documentary, he comes down here to Costa Rica and gets high and gets in touch with himself and dances, and it's pretty funny, but it's right here in Costa Rica. So
you're in Costa Rica right now?
Yeah.
I was unaware of this.
Yeah, I was there. I was here last week and had terrible cell reception, and then this week I found a spot in the house where I'm in the master bedroom upstairs overlooking the pool, and I got great cell reception, so I've been able to do my radio shows this week. So
how long you'll be there?
I leave tomorrow. We've been here a week.
Nice.
So yeah,
very nice.
This is my third year coming with Ellen, who's been coming here for like 7 years, and we got a 6-bedroom house. It's $1,500 per room for the 7 days, and it's incredible.
Wow,
incredible. 2-minute walk to the ocean, Pacific Ocean, and it's just epic, bro. Just epic. So
that's
it, man. Last weekend started off good. Had Carolina plus the points off Indiana Friday, and Miami with the epic Carson Beck drive to win it. And then yes, it was pass interference in the end zone, but you're not going to get that call. You're just not. And now it's for the national championship. But other than that, game 1 out of the box, Denver and Buffalo.
Well, let me stop you before we get started. Let me stop you.
Yep.
What is the theory among officials that at the end of the game, the rules get suspended? I've never understood it.
It's gotta be
fear.
There was some contact. Okay, there was some contact, but I will tell you this.
He had his hands on him.
Right, but even if he caught it, he was not going to come down inbounds. And I think you're putting the cart in front of the horse. That if it were, all right, let me put this in perspective. If it were the 20-yard line and it got them inside the 10, they probably would have done it. But people don't realize this is college, not the pros.
Right, it's not a spot foul.
Then go to the 2.
Yeah, it's a 15-yard.
They would have moved it up to the 20.
Right.
Well, I guarantee you, at the 20-yard line, they don't rush 3 and drop 8. They bring the house.
Right.
It's a big difference. It's a big difference when you allow him to get out of the pocket, stand there, and make a throw to the end zone. I almost guarantee you, from the 20-yard line, they bring the house, and he ain't got time to throw.
Yeah.
So that is the way it is. So
okay.
Move on. It's a shame, a crying shame,
that
we don't have the Jacksonville Jaguars playing in this round.
I concur. I lost money on that game.
It's once again, and I'm a fan of Liam Cohen. One of my biggest NFL plays of the year was them going into Denver and beating the Broncos in their only home loss going back to week 8 of last year. And they played their best game of the year. And these coaches have to understand. Take analytics in the regular season and flush them down the effing toilet and don't think about it. Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, Bill Belichick, Bill Cowher, 4th and 2, their 9-yard line of a 7-3 game. You take the 3. You go up 10-3. You keep the momentum. You send your D back out there. And then, of course, Little misses the 54-yarder when he celebrates making the 67-yarder like he won the Super Bowl. He's prancing around the field.
Yeah.
I'm the man. I made it 67. Look at my little dance. The holder comes over. We do a little flippy handshake. I'm on national TV. People went to run at him. He pushed them back. Said, whoa, 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 whoa. This is about me right now. It's about me. It's all about me right now.
Right.
And you miss a 54-yarder that comes back to haunt your team in the playoffs.
Yep.
And if they do, if you think Dan Campbell's sitting in Detroit, Michigan, freezing his butt off right now, watching the playoffs on TV, sipping a scotch on the rocks, and his wife looks over at him and says, honey, I just have to ask you one more time. You're up 24-10 against the Niners and 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. You got a chance to go up 17. The Niners would have had to score 3 touchdowns to beat you, and at that point, they'd only had 10 points. And that's saying your offense isn't going to start another point, honey. You kick the field goal there and go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, and then we're not miserable right now? You're right, honey. I'm tired of hearing it, brother. Give me another cocktail. Well, Liam Cohen's going to have the same exact thing. He's going to have to sit there with his wife or girlfriend and go, babe, you know, you kick that field goal, go up 10-3. We don't need that to rush it. It's a tie game at 27, honey.
Yeah.
And we probably end up winning the game. You got to take, honey, you say it again. We're going to get in a fight and an argument, and I'm going to be on the ATMZ. Just don't do it. Leave me alone. Duval, baby, Duval. Give me another beer.
Duval.
So that's it. So with that being said, Buffalo has struggled against teams that get a pass rush. They lost to Atlanta 24-14. They got beat by Houston. They got beat by the Dolphins 30-13 because they got pressure on Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's banged up. They're going into Denver. Sean Payton 4 times in his career has had rest. He's 4-0 straight up. Denver's lost 1 home game since week 8 of last year. Line's 1.5. Team that wins is going to cover. That's going to be Denver. They will move on. It's been a good run, Sean McDermott. You're probably going to be fired, and you'll be doing the balloon animals at parties.
Really? You think if they lose, he gets whacked?
That's the rumor.
Wow.
Look at Harbaugh. They haven't won him forever.
Yeah.
He didn't blow a 3-point lead with 13 seconds to go and still have a job.
And there are a lot of
Frazier right now.
And a lot of good coaches.
I think he's running a State Farm insurance company up in Basilville, Idaho.
And a lot of good coaches out there. You're right. A lot of good coaches out there. What else you got? Afternoon game.
I'm going to roll with Seattle and Darnold. I think Kittle being out is massive for the Niners. Sam Darnold is 13-0 straight up, 10-3 against the spread when he's laying 6 points or more. This is a bad spot for the Niners. Give them credit. They beat Philadelphia. I get it. That offensive coordinator for Philly should be shoveling snow at Leon's house 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with how bad he was. Someone needed to call 911. That man was stealing money. And that's just the way it is.
They whacked him, didn't they?
Yeah.
Didn't they whack him?
They did. Finally. Yeah. I'm just saying they should have whacked him. They should have whacked him
halfway through the season. Yeah.
But it's just Seattle's a better team with rest. You couldn't beat them at your place without Kittle. You had all the advantages. What makes me think you're going to be able to turn it around after the bruising game with the Eagles and turn around and go up there and beat them in Seattle? I know the line's 7. I'll buy down to 6.5, and I'll lose with Seattle before I try to win with the Niners. Patriots, no Nico Collins for the Texans. And people will call me crazy for saying this, and that's fine. And it's not the first time I've been called crazy. I like to tell my wife I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm in the shed. And yeah, my elevator stops at the 4th floor, doesn't make it all the time. I'm 2 beers short of a 6-pack and 4 sandwiches short of a picnic. But let me tell you something right now. It's 7-6 into the third quarter, Steelers-Texans. Stroud has played like garbage. They blitz 1 instead of 2 on 3rd and 15, don't get there. They complete the big pass. That sets up the field goal, 10-6. I will go to my grave saying, if they go 0 blitz there on 3rd and 15 from their own 27, and they stop them there. Now, we're in the fourth quarter. Steelers got their running game going. Now they're 7-6. Here we go. That's a different ball game.
Yeah.
And why they didn't go cover, why they didn't go 0 blitz there, and they blitzed 1 from the left side. Didn't get there, hit the big pass down the middle. They're going to have to live with that. You 0 blitz there and roll the dice. Maybe you force another mistake. Who knows? Because he played so bad. And now they're going into New England. He doesn't have his number 1 offensive weapon, and Nico Collins out concussion. I'm sorry. Patriots have answered all questions and answered the bell all year long. That just made Herbert look very normal. They will with C.J. Stroud. Patriots. They'll probably go to 3.5, buy it down to 3. If you can get it now, buy it down to 2.5. And last but not least, I would have came on your show. I did on Thursday and said Texans, Steelers, under. It got there. I don't care what the weather is. The Rams, whatever their team total is, the Rams are going to put 30 on this defense.
Wow.
30. I will almost know that, print that. I won't say I'm mortal lock 100%, but that offense of the Rams against that defense of the Bears, they'll get 30. And trust me, the Bears are going to get to 24, and you're probably going to have to sweat a back door in that game. And if Green Bay and Chicago can get over that total, then I'm telling you right now, the Rams have gone over the posted total 8 straight divisional playoff games, and their last 6 road games have gone over the posted total. Rams-Bears over 48.
Really?
Yep.
Sunday's low will be 9 degrees between 6 a.m. 7 a.m. with the high between 19 between 3 and 4. The temperature range will feel like -5 to 9 degrees. Wind will make it feel colder than the actual temperature. And you think the LA boys are going to go out to Chi-Town and pull it off, huh?
Absolutely. They're pro athletes, bro.
Okay. All right.
They've played in the cold before.
Yeah. Okay.
Trust me. All right. Last but not least, national championship game.
Yes. The Raiders.
No matter what anybody says.
Our first round pick.
Yep. No matter what anybody says. The Miami Hurricanes are still littered with 4-star and 5-star athletes. That's their talent pool. You don't got to develop that talent. You don't have to work that talent. You ain't got to get that talent to buy in. It's just there.
And Indiana has none.
None. But what Indiana does do is they develop that talent and get that talent to play as a team.
Yep.
That's all fine and dandy when you're playing the Old Dominions of the world, who they struggled to beat 27-13 week 1. It's easy when you play the Purdues of the world, or the Wisconsins of the world, or the Illinois of the world. It's easy. But now you're playing big boy football against a big boy team that all this team has done has gone through a very good Texas A&M team on the road, a very good number 1 team ranked in the country, Ohio State Buckeyes, and a very good Ole Miss team that had 1 loss all year long at Georgia in a game they were up double digits in the fourth quarter and figured out a way to lose. And now they arrive at the national championship game because Vegas does one thing and one thing very good. They prey on the public's vulnerability based on what the public just saw. The public just saw them put up 56 on Oregon, a team they beat already this year, and a Dan Lanning coach football team that's been blown out the last 2 years in round 2. So just discount the Oregon game. Let's talk about X's and O's. First of all, defensive coordinator of Miami, where was he for 4 years before he came to Miami? James Madison. He was Signetti's defensive coordinator. A little nugget for you there. If there's anybody that knows Signetti better than anybody, it's the defensive coordinator that worked for him for 4 years. That's just phase 1 of this little shenanigan. Phase 2, whatever number Vegas put out there, they were betting it. They were betting Indiana. It didn't matter. And so the number opened up 6.5, went to 8.5, and now it's worked its way back down to 8. End of the day, Vegas is sitting there going, watch us trap the public. We have 75% Indiana money, 25% Miami money. Now we'll set back Monday night and watch this be a field goal game, and we'll watch ourselves get the payday. Vegas wasn't built on winners, my friend. And when they need a game like this, and they absolutely have to have a game like this, they get a game like this. They've trapped the public. And if Carson Beck, who went on one of the greatest drives we'll ever see a college quarterback go on to beat Ole Miss, if he plays error-free football and doesn't turn it over, don't be surprised to see the Miami Hurricanes holding up that trophy and win the game outright.
USC star Cody Kessler's father just texted in and said, did they not put 56 up against Oregon?
I just said they did.
But that does.
They did.
But
I just said they did. Well, what Cody Kessler's dad's not hearing is when you play a team you're familiar with, and you get 3 turnovers, and their game plan is out the window now. It's just helter skelter. The 56 could be anything at that point. Once you get Oregon out of their game plan, it's over. It's done. Oregon struggled against Texas Tech. Texas Tech, if their quarterback had any common sense whatsoever, they would have won that game. I was not a fan of Oregon. Okay? But you have to look at what the line is telling you here. Vegas is putting that 8-7. Public bet it to 8.5 because they knew whatever we put that number at, the people were going to bet Indiana.
Right.
And you're completely discounting what Miami has done. Miami has 2 losses this year. Beck turned the ball over. Beck is a stud. That last drive against Ole Miss when the pressure was at its highest that it would ever be for any quarterback in the history of college football led them right down the field. It was ungodly how calm he was.
Wow. It was a great drive. I'll give you that.
Before, brother.
It was a great drive. All right, sir. How many weeks do we get you all the way to the Super Bowl?
3, 4, 3.
3. All right. Just making sure.
The Super Bowl.
Just making sure. All right, my friend. Love you, Pop. Safe travels. Say hello to the wife. We'll talk to you soon.
Gotcha.
All right, man.
Gotcha.
Our man, Brandon Lang. Coach K, you should have called in. I would have loved to have heard you two go at it. That would have been great. That would have been great radio. Quick timeout. We'll read a couple of text messages, get to the bottom of the hour, where Mr. George Culver is going to join us and give his thoughts. Will there be a lockout? Have the Dodgers' new $240 million signing forced the owners to come together and demand a salary cap, which, of course, the players who are now making hundreds of millions of dollars, Mr. Tucker got 64 just for putting his name on a contract, let alone what he's going to make annually. He'll have to report in taxes some $120 million in his first year as a Dodger. We'll talk to Mr. Culver after the bottom of the hour break. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 11.
Adaptive. Edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We'll break down everything going on in Venezuela, everything going on in Iran, and more. We will have Florida Congressman and potentially the next governor of Florida, Byron Donalds, with us as well. Make sure you put it on the calendar and come hang with us on the Monday edition of Clay and Buck.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You all have heard me talk about Adaptive Networks, our IT team that we depend on to make sure that our radio station is up and running every single day. That's the beauty of Adaptive Networks. They respond to you immediately because, again, as a radio station, we don't have time to be told that our people will be with you tomorrow or sometime. We need them to act in minutes and not hours. And that's exactly what they do. Whether you're a small company or a growing enterprise, Adaptive Networks adapts to you. Their customer-driven approach means you get exactly what you need, nothing more, nothing less. So don't settle for generic IT support. Call Adaptive Networks today at 661-241-0638 or reach them online at adaptive-net.com. Adaptive Networks, because your business is unique and your IT should be too. Again, their phone number is 661-241-0638 or online at adaptive-net.com.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Vance Furtado.
Hi, my name is Vance Furtado, and I saw Paul Sheldon's advertising, and my wife and I were going to need to begin Medicare very soon, and we thought he would be a great guy to talk to. And we were not disappointed. He and his staff were excellent. They provided much needed guidance for us, and we would recommend Paul Sheldon and his agency to anyone desiring help when it comes to figuring out the confusing world of Medicare. Medicare can be so terribly confusing. That's why my wife and I were so glad that we went to Paul Sheldon. He and his staff were incredibly helpful to us. So I would recommend Paul and his agency to anyone. Thank you, Paul, for all the help that you provided, giving us an excellent sense and direction of how best to satisfy our needs when it comes to Medicare.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
The new year brings new health goals and wealth goals. Protecting your identity is an important step. Your info is in endless places that could expose you to identity theft, leading to lost funds. LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Resolve to make identity health and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Am I having deja vu?
No, remember, we played the Beatles song.
It was the Beatles back then? When I got the simultaneous, I thought it was this.
No, well, it was this, but I was playing My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that in the background. We have time for a text message before we get George in here?
I just have a couple here. First one says, a covey of quail.
A covey of quail. I would have never come up with that. I'm not a quail guy.
And another one here says that Darnold is injured and Locke has been taking first-round reps.
Shut up.
He's not good. He's going to play.
Yeah, of course he's going to play.
He's got an oblique injury, but he'll be playing.
That's big, though. That's big if it's true. Speaking of sports, our good friend George Culver joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington as Iran returns to an uneasy calm after protests led to a violent crackdown. A senior cleric is calling for the death penalty for detained demonstrators. Ayatollah Ahmad Hatami's sermon Friday also threatened President Trump. However, Trump struck a conciliatory tone, thanking Iran's leaders for not executing hundreds of protesters so far, signaling he may be backing away from military action. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear an appeal from agrochemical manufacturer Bayer to block thousands of state lawsuits, alleging it failed to warn people its popular weed killer could cause cancer. The justices said Friday they'll consider whether the Environmental Protection Agency's approval of the Roundup weed killer without a cancer warning should rule out state court claims. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. The Alan Booth trial started and stopped again Thursday. It's already been delayed several times, and it's expected to start again Tuesday with jury selection. Booth is the man accused of driving drunk and ramming several people with his pickup at the Bakersfield Christmas Parade in 2023. Highway 58 is closed through 4 o'clock today between Heath Road and Nord Avenue. Caltrans says they are updating the signs and striping the highway. Delano cops are warning people about a kidnapping scam where people get a call saying a loved one has been taken and you should send ransom money. They say you should hang up and call law enforcement immediately. California's average price for gas, $4.17, says Gas Buddy. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Are you craving a mouth-watering sandwich that's packed with flavor? Then look no further than Caesar's Deli, where they craft some of the best sandwiches in town. Sink your teeth into our signature classic, Caesar's Special, featuring 2 kinds of salami, premium ham, and the irresistible taste of Nona's secret meat sauce. It's a sandwich experience that you won't forget. But that's not the only sandwich they offer. No. Satisfy your craving with a savory smoked turkey sandwich, or indulge yourself in the loaded pastrami, or for the adventurous eater, they offer pickled tongue. And here's the best part. Caesar's Deli has incredible lunch specials designed to fill you up without emptying your wallet. Plus, did you know that Caesar's Deli has a full-service deli offering a variety of over 60 meats and cheeses? It's a sandwich lover's paradise, and that's why Caesar's Deli has been a local favorite and proudly serving Bakersfield since 1971. Visit Caesar's Deli today and taste the difference for yourself. Located on the corner of Brim Hall and Callaway behind the beautiful water fountain.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it.
I beg your pardon.
It's just hard on both of us. But, try to understand me more. And I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a
it is freezing
Find
in here.
resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at soundedouttogether.org. That's soundedouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
It's been easy to do the Armstrong and Getty show the first 2 weeks of the year. Craziness.
I'd say, yeah, chaos in Minneapolis, gender-bending madness at the Supreme Court. We got college basketball fixing in the Venezuela and Iran situations. Good gracious, it's too much. And whatever comes next, we'll bring it to you.
And if you miss any of it, you can get the podcast Armstrong and Getty on demand. See you next Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Armstrong and Getty Show. Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk.
Randy Newman songs today.
What was the other one?
You Got a Friend in Me.
I forgot Toy Story. God, they made me look so stupid. I just have never seen any of the Toy Story movies. I don't have any children. I don't have any grandchildren.
No, it's true. It's not something you would dive into.
I was 40 when it first came out. Imagine me sitting in the movie 40 years old watching Toy Story by myself.
Tom Hanks and Tim Allen, though.
I guess. I don't know. Anyway, the story of the day is the Dodgers getting better and everybody else in Major League Baseball complaining that the Dodgers have ruined baseball by signing Kyle Tucker to a $240 million 4-year contract with a $64 million signing bonus, meaning that is completely separate from his salary. And the question that we will ask our next guest, former Major League Baseball pitcher and one of the best pitching instructors in the country, our good friend George Culver. How are you, George?
I'm doing great, Ralph. I heard you say something about you're going to play 36 holes this weekend.
I am. I'm playing tomorrow, and then I'm playing with Mark Swaim at Sundale on Sunday.
Oh, I thought you were going to play them both on the same day. I was going to say, you're not in shape for that, buddy.
You are exactly right, my friend. You are exactly right, because I'll be hurting when I play on Sunday. Are you kidding? The back and the thighs. Are you kidding me? No.
Well, just remember this, Ralph. If you wake up in no pain, you're dead. So as long as you have pain, it's in good shape.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that to heart. I really would. So what do you think? Are you surprised by the Dodgers signing Kyle Tucker?
Well, I say disappointed is a better word. There's no way I give that guy that much money. No way. I know they need help in the outfield.
Yeah.
But I would rather see him sign Bichette for a much, much better contract and move Tommy Evans to the outfield. I know they need help in the outfield, but I tell you, Bichette, to me, is a much better clutch player than Tucker. Tucker's last half of the season last year, he kind of went downhill. I guess he was hurt in the first half. And
yeah, he fractured his right hand.
So they were, some of the reports were that he lost interest in baseball and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think that he's going to be worth the money they're paying. But that's them.
Yeah.
So, they don't make a lot of bad decisions on them free agents.
True that. Why was the media putting up him as the number one free agent?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I guess he wanted the most money. I don't know. If I was them, if they're going to sign somebody besides Bichette, I'd have signed Bellinger.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
Big popular guy in L.A. And he can play all three. He can play first. He can play the outfield. He can, whatever you need him for, that's what he's good at. And so he had a great year last year.
Yes, he did.
So I'm more of a Cody Bellinger fan than I am a Tucker fan.
I absolutely agree. One of the bigger questions that we wanted to get into is the possible baseball stoppage, the fight that's going to go on about a salary cap. Don't you think this signing, the Dodgers spending this kind of money, is going to, kind of speed up the anger among the other owners for a salary cap?
Well, compare the MLB to pro football. Pro football has a salary cap, and they have to stick to it.
Right.
And every year, I think I heard there's 4 teams last year with 12 losses that made the playoffs this year. So how does that happen? Because there's parity, and there's equal balance. So in other words, if you're a fan of the Sacramento, whatever they call them, A's, whatever, and they say, hey, you want to buy season tickets? Yeah. Do you guys have a chance to win? No. Well, I mean, why do you want to spend money on their buying tickets here? There's Miami, Tampa. It's tough to sell that team.
Yeah.
And so because they got no chance starting the season, they have absolutely no chance of winning anything, nothing. And so as a fan, yeah, you're going to sell out Dodger Stadium because they're going to be right there every year until the end of the season and into the playoffs. But I don't know. I gotta believe. When I was playing, we went on strike twice. Once in before the '69 season, and once before the '72 season. And I don't even remember what we went on strike for, but I think the '68 was about the salary caps, not salary cap, but minimum salary type stuff. So,
right. And 72 was about free agency, wasn't it?
I think you're right. I think it was free agency, yeah. And so
Andy Messersmith and all that.
Yeah, there's quite a few guys. Andy, yeah, and I think that was scary that year because we were training in Houston at some off the way ballpark way over on the other side of town, and so every day by the time when we first started, everybody was there, and then after each day, less and less guys would come. With the last couple of days we had, we only had 5 or 6 guys there. And so they lost interest in a hurry because it didn't look like they were going to settle the strike.
Yeah.
And then, it's no fun. I mean, I'm all for a salary cap because I think that's the fairest way to do it. However, I don't think the players ever agree to it.
No.
I think so. If they go on strike, it's going to be a long one because the owners are either got to, they got to give in or shut up, shut up and stop complaining because that's the only way they're going to get settled. The players have got to look around and say, you know what, let's make it fair for everybody, but they won't. They won't do that. All they care about is money now anyway.
And traditionally, owners win long strikes. Players eventually have to start paying, the 4 houses and the 7 cars and the 3 women, and it gets a little hairy after a couple of months when you're not getting a check.
Yeah, that was my problem. I had all these cars and women and stuff take care of it. No, but you're right. I mean, I just love the NFL because there's so many. Look at the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Well, they won 3 games last year or 4 games.
Yeah.
There's a chance they might go to the Super Bowl.
Very likely.
I mean, look at New England Patriots. Look at that team. So the only way they do it is with a salary cap, and you get, they get draft a good quarterback because they were not very good the previous year, and they get a good draft in the quarterback, like Las Vegas. Their only chance to get a good quarterback in the draft.
Right.
And they got some problems with their line also, but they got to start with a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what everybody starts with. So I think there's going to be a strike, and I think my best guess is going to be a long one. Now I don't know when the strike starts. I guess when they start the season, apparently.
Would that be this year or 27?
Oh, I don't know about it. That's a good question.
Chris, do you know?
Yeah.
I think it's 27.
ABS?
You're probably right.
The CBA, the contract with Major League Baseball.
I believe that's 27.
Yeah, I think it is 27.
I'm going to spring training in early March, so I hope that doesn't affect that. But I don't know if you heard or not. They have a drought in Phoenix.
Oh, really?
And so I'm not sure some of them. I mean, you need a lot of water for baseball fields.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of water restrictions going on there in that drought. Can you believe they have a drought in Hawaii?
That's crazy.
Champions tournament. They call it tournament. I never heard of a drought in Hawaii.
Neither have I. That's crazy. I wish the Dodgers had never left Vero Beach. I really.
Oh man, Ralph, I love that place. And
I do too.
I sort of love that place. And I remember when I sat in the press box for you there one day, and you left your phone. I think it was. I had to get your phone to you.
Yeah, that was amazing. Running into you at Vero Beach. That was one of the best weeks of my life, George. I'll tell you, I was getting paid, and I was stealing from Buckley Radio.
You can just feel the ghosts walking around that place.
Yeah.
All those guys. I mean,
God.
It's just incredible. You probably know this, maybe not, but across the street was a air training center.
Yeah, that's where the pilots of the plane that went into the World Trade Center trained.
Yep.
Right there across from Vero Beach. Yeah.
2 of them trained right there.
Mm-hmm.
The Dodger barracks were I believe it's going to say World War II. That's where the servicemen stayed, and so it's just the place is just full of history. And there's nothing wrong with Arizona. I love Arizona too, but this is pretty different than Dodger Town. There's no history there.
It's just such a great facility, and God, I had just the best time of my life. There are 2 great stories that I tell, George. Derek Hall was the communications director at the time. I believe he's still with the Diamondbacks as the president of the Diamondbacks. Maybe not.
I think so, yes.
But he was the communications director, and he said, I got a great interview for you, Ralph. I've got an immortal for you. And we went over to what I've described as their bunt field, where they've got like it looks like a T-ball field, but first base is the regulation distance so they can run out the bunts. And I look as we're walking toward the cage, and Alex Cora is laying down bunts. And I'm like, this is who Derek Hall is taking me for an interview, an immortal interview? And just as I thought that, he says to me, you think you're about to interview Alex Cora, don't you? And I go, well, yeah, that's okay. He goes, are you paying attention to who's feeding him the balls? And
Maury.
It's Maury Wills. Yep, sure was. And I got 3.5 minutes with Maury Wills, who told me some great Jackie Robinson stories and Don Drysdale stories. It was heaven on earth. It really was.
Maury's the greatest. For him not to be in the Hall of Fame is an absolute joke.
I agree, 100%. Tommy John as well. We always talk about that.
Tommy John, it's just an absolute. I have no confidence in the vote. They put guys in the Hall of Fame and going, what?
Yeah, crazy.
What the heck?
Absolutely crazy. So I'll leave you with this. Can the Dodgers repeat, or is that a dumb question? Have we gotten much better?
Well, I don't. I think their pitching staff's going to be a little stronger from day one.
Yeah.
They got a big. They got the guy from the Mets. He's good, but you never know about them relievers.
Yeah.
They could sign that Scott last year, and look at him. He went to pieces.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but the Dodgers have a great farm system. You know, the organization is top notch, and everybody can complain about all they want, but you have to use that as a map for your own organization.
Yeah,
because that's how they go about the right way. The fans, they treat the fans great. You know, I haven't played for the Dodgers in 50 years, and I go down there. I'm like, you know, hey, here's the next Dodger. Hey, how you doing? You know, they just treat me so good, and when I go to games there, I get free tickets. It's just you know, a great organization.
It is.
People run it.
It absolutely is. All right, George, always great to talk to you. I appreciate you taking time and coming on the program. Have a great weekend, and anytime you want to stick in the ground, just let me know.
Okay, Ralph, don't forget to go see Song Sung Blue.
I will. I definitely will. Thanks for the tip.
Great movie.
I appreciate it. All right, man. Take care. George Culver. Great guy. Love me some George Culver. Were you shocked to hear him say that he thinks that there's going to be a work stoppage?
No, not at all, because I think that's just the growing consensus right now. There has to be. You have to kind of stop it just to get control of everything.
And there's no way the players are going to relent and say, sure, sure,
no.
Put a cap on our salary. Sure. Why not?
My salary in half. I'm completely fine with that.
Yeah. And it's going to be a fight. And
I mean, even
the guys who make 8 figures normally win. You know what I'm saying?
I think at this point, though, I think everybody would just be behind not only a salary cap, but also a salary floor. Make these guys pay.
God, that'd be awful. That would just be awful. Because I think if he's right, it would be a long stoppage if there is one. Quick timeout. We'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. I've got some audio. You want to hear how cutthroat the NFL is? Wait till you hear how Mike McDaniel got whacked. You'll hear from former Raider tight end Darren Waller, who was in the room when the news came down. I'll explain when you hear the audio. Plus, more allegations against actor Tim Busfield, the man from 30-something, Field of Dreams, ER. More allegations, not just the 2 little boys, but another young woman at the age of 16 claims that he molested her as well. Get into that, and you'll hear from Terrence Smith. I call her the crazy little white girl who is rowing her way across the Atlantic. Sheesh. Quick time out. We're coming right back. It's TRBS on a Friday. Oh, we got to wish somebody a happy birthday. I got a party to go to tonight. Quick time out. We're coming right back. It's TRBS on a Friday. Right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN, where we stream live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Last question. What is your favorite thing to do as an 8-year-old?
As an 8-year-old?
Hurry up. You only got 30 seconds. Play volleyball. Not hang out with Dad. Not come on Dad's radio show. Not...
Because I hardly do it.
No,
I've asked you a million times and you're just like, no.
All the fun stuff I do with Dad. No, just play volleyball.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You know, oddly, one of the things I rarely talk about when I talk about Casey's Steakhouse is lunch. If you work downtown, if you work for the county or wherever on Truxton, it's not very far, and it's real quick, and it's very convenient, and the menu is similar, just smaller portions, and it is outstanding. And the variety on the menu that Chef Daniel has put together now is simply unbelievable. It's mostly a large groups that come to Casey's Steakhouse, and not everybody's feeling red meat to celebrate someone's birthday or an anniversary or whatever the event may be, and that's why Chef Daniel has advanced the menu, so there is Italian food. I love the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. The lobster mac and cheese is everybody's favorite. The fish dishes, the mahi-mahi, the swordfish, the halibut. Where would you rather be than on F Street? And don't forget about the Stockyard next door for meetings, banquets, or just having dinner and having some of the craft cocktails that are served next door. It's Casey's Steakhouse
longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I get those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax free edition only. Roughly 37% of filings qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
And to get TurboTax free edition, see if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Oh, you just have to wait.
She said,
nothing easy. It's a game of give and take.
Got some new specs. I went 1.75 this time.
What's the difference?
They have degrees. I think it starts at like 125 and then goes 150, 175. And if you're Mr. Magoo, it's like 2.50. I went 175. And it's like, holy Toledo. It really hasn't been my my handwriting, although my handwriting, as Chris will attest, is god awful. But it's been, I just can't read. I just couldn't see. You know, I've been like, oh, I can't even read my own writing. No, it's because I broke my glasses. This thing is like a billboard. All right, let's call Tay-Bug. It's my best friend's daughter's birthday. I shan't say the number. She's a young woman in her early 30s. I don't think she would appreciate me sharing that with her. And her boyfriend, our DJ down the hall, is not here, I'm assuming. He took the day to celebrate her birthday. You can't hurry, love. Oh, come on, Tay. You only should answer?
Your call has.
Oh, damn. Because people don't answer calls from numbers they don't recognize.
Exactly.
They just don't. Let's try it one more time.
I'll try one more time?
Yeah. Because I know what she's doing. She's getting dressed. We're all meeting at some place at 6:30. So I know she's in town. She doesn't live here any longer. Her father is Michael Arieh, former Green Bay Packer, an overall good egg. He is hosting the party. I asked, can I bring a date? But he's picking up the tabs. So I gotta go slow. Oh, come on. Then she put it on. She turned it answered quicker, so she turned it off. Damn. You think maybe if I call from my phone?
Maybe.
I think I'm in her deal.
Are you though?
I don't know. Hey, Siri, call Taylor.
Which one?
Yeah, I'm in here. Let's see.
Calling Taylor Arieh mobile.
I mean, she's in yours, what I'm saying. Why are you in hers?
Well, if I'm in hers, she's got to be in mine. Oh, she's not going to answer my phone call?
Your call has been forwarded.
Oh,
to voicemail. The person
Tay-Bug.
you're trying to-
Tay-Bug. I'm going to give her crap at dinner. Dang. Think she'll call me back?
Maybe. She won't call here back, but she'll call you back.
Yeah, she'll call me back. In the meantime, I've got a couple of minutes. That audio isn't very long, is it, Darren Waller?
Darren's, I don't believe, is that long, no.
You want to see how cutthroat the NFL is? Listen to Darren Waller tell this story.
It was that Thursday morning from 9:30 to 10. So I get there for my exit meeting, and we're talking for like 10 minutes, and he's like, yeah, like definitely want you back next year, and we're just like reflecting on the year. And
stop it for a second. He's talking about Mike McDaniels, our former tight end, now plays for the Dolphins. And he's talking about he's sitting in Mike McDaniels' office, and they're doing the exit interviews that all returning coaches do. Like, next year, we want to use you more, and boop, boop, boop. And the last year, you had a pretty good season. We want you back, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we pick it up with Mr. Waller.
Here, and we're just like reflecting on the year and things that he was thinking about doing different in the upcoming year. And then Stephen Ross kicked the door in at like 9:42. And he comes in and like joins the conversation. We're just all talking, reflecting on the year. And Stephen Ross is like, well, the hell, you back next year? Is that the third? And then the conversation kind of hits a lull, and I'm sitting across the desk from Mike, and Stephen Ross is standing there just kind of looking at me like,
it's time for you to get the hell out.
I looked at Mike. He was like, we'll finish the conversation later, because I didn't know they had the GM search was in full flow. I didn't know what they had big business talk about. Like, we already really done here. We just powwowing. And so I go out the meeting, I go downstairs and get a massage. I come up from the massage, check my phone, he's fired. And I'm like, damn, like, this is cold for real.
I guess
that is cold. In the midst, he's doing, and this was going on all day, where he was doing exit interviews with players. And, normally if you're going to get whacked, it's Bloody Monday. But to wait till Thursday, and they hugged it out on Monday, and to give a guy a false sense, I mean, this is the difference. This is why Miami sucks. This is an organization that is run poorly. You don't do that to a guy. If you're going to whack him what? You didn't know Monday that you were going to fire this guy? Something happened between Monday and Thursday that said, you know what, we got to get rid of this guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing the decision. Mike McAdams should not be, what was that his name, Mike McAdams? McDaniels? I know I was wrong. He should not be coaching in the NFL. Brother, no brother, because he's a brother. But brother, no brother. I'd love to see him as our OC. I really would. He's a genius play caller. But to just bust in on a meeting and say, get out, final hour of the week, don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN, Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM, Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Social media companies have revoked access to about 4.7 million accounts identified as belonging to children in Australia. Correspondent Charles de Ledesma reports.
This follows the country's ban on platforms used by those under 16. Communications Minister Annika Wells announced the figures on Friday, highlighting the success of the law enacted in December. The ban sparked debates about technology use, privacy, and child safety. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and X face hefty fines if they fail to comply. Officials say the measure is encouraging, though some young users have found ways to bypass restrictions. Other countries, such as Denmark, are considering similar bans. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
A case involving a popular weed killer goes before the U.S. Supreme Court.
The High Court has agreed to hear an appeal from agrochemical manufacturer Bayer to block thousands of state lawsuits alleging it failed to warn people its popular weed killer Roundup could cause cancer. The justices will hear a case from Missouri where a man developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after spraying Roundup on a community garden. Some studies associate Roundup's key ingredient, glyphosate, with cancer. The EPA has said it's unlikely to be carcinogenic to humans when used as directed. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Justice Department is investigating whether Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey have impeded federal immigration enforcement through public statements they have made, according to two people familiar with the matter. The investigation focused on potential violation of a conspiracy statute, according to the people. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 83 points, the Nasdaq dropped 14, the S&P 500 lower by 4. More at townhall.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-524-4948. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-524-4948. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-524-4948. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-524-4948 or biglou.com. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
That ain't no way to have fun, son. I'm Chris Davis. Gunshots fired outside of a house in Lamont led Kern County deputies to a stash of guns and to arrest the person they say was shooting them off recklessly at a house party Wednesday night. 19-year-old Clisario Urias was arrested when deputies found shell casings outside the house on Cam Avenue and got a search warrant for the inside, finding an AK-47 and 3 pistols with the ammo. Urias was charged with discharge of a firearm in a grossly negligent manner, illegal possession of an assault weapon, possession of a large-capacity magazine. This one is also from Lamont. The murder conviction of Jose de Jesus Velasquez Gomez, whose car hit a car driven by 3 women while he was high on meth, killing the women on November 3rd, 2024, has been overturned by a court of appeals. The reason? The prosecution made significant mistakes in the way they presented their case. Velasquez Gomez is eligible to be tried again, and that has to be worked out by the court. And the Alan Booth trial is finally happening. He's the 74-year-old man accused of driving drunk and hitting several people with his pickup truck at the Bakersfield Christmas Parade back in 2023. Jury selection started Thursday morning, but abruptly was stopped by the judge, who sent everybody home. That is expected to pick back up Tuesday after the Martin Luther King holiday. If you get a call saying that someone you love has been kidnapped and you need to send ransom money, that is likely a scam, say police in Delano. They are warning people that it's been happening there on their social media pages. They say if you do get one of those calls, hang up and call the police. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think, this is the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get up close like this. But a bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast, final hour of the week as we wrap up 5 days of outstanding radio broadcasting, where we were quoted in the Los Angeles Times, the New York Post. We were the lead story at 6 o'clock this week on the 17 News. We were featured on Channel 23, but not in the Bakersfield, Californian, who insisted that Donnie Youngblood told several outlets about the body cam incriminating Kathy Scrivener, refusing to admit that a little tiny little radio station and an idiot radio talk show host who they once fired scooped them by like 72 hours. Then they had the gall to put on the front page, top of the paper, Sheriff exonerates DA, when regular listeners know Sheriff Youngblood told us that 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had him on twice. I'm not talking about his Monday appearance that got the television stations all talking and got us the lead story, I think Tuesday or Wednesday. No, I'm talking about the first appearance weeks ago when he made it clear. In fact, we alluded to that when we talked with Teresa Goldner, that he made it clear that there was nothing inappropriate by Cynthia Zimmer's phone call, but the newspaper just had to put that in the paper as news, even though most of you heard it on this show literally weeks ago. I can't figure out journalism in the 21st century. Don't let me even start. Before we get going, keep your eyes open for what happened with Tyler Robinson. The defense, get this, the defense went into court. They were supposed to be there. They were supposed to get things going. But Tyler Robinson, of course, I'm hoping you know who Tyler Robinson is, the alleged murderer of Charlie Kirk. The defense is trying to say, because the son or daughter, we don't know what sex the child is, but a child of one of the prosecutors was on the campus and at the Charlie Kirk event when Mr. Kirk was murdered. And he texted about it. And they're trying to say, the defense is that creates a conflict of interest. They went even further and tried to say that the Utah County prosecutor shouldn't even represent himself in the hearing to determine whether or not there was a conflict of interest. And for whatever reason, they want to kick it to the Attorney General's office in the state of Utah. And perhaps our own run-in with our own incompetent Attorney General's office may give us some hint as to why they prefer their AG handle it rather than the county. I don't know. But how this child of a prosecutor is relevant to the trial or to the prosecution's bid to find this man guilty of a crime that has got as much evidence as the O.J. Simpson murders, I don't understand. I really don't. Anything new? Did the judge make a decision?
Nope, I don't see anything new.
Nothing?
They just see that he's trying to get rid of the prosecutor right now, but they have no decision.
The judge didn't come back with something today, huh? All right, we'll
Not
follow
that I'm
that.
seeing, at least.
Don't forget, we've got a 3-day weekend, so you'll hear, the best of on Monday?
Yes.
So we're dark Monday, be back on Tuesday, but we'll lead the week off with Teresa Golder, and we'll probably delve into this. Meantime, Tim Busfield is in a world of trouble, if you ask this man, and I'm not talking about the most recent allegations, what he's battling, which is problematic in and of itself, where he is still in jail. But there has now been a 16-year-old girl who at the time was 16. She's not 16 now, but she claims that she made allegations then and that the production company of whatever she was working on investigated it and just kind of blew it off. And that's the second allegation beyond the current allegations. Taylor Arieh.
Okay.
Hey, Tay-Bud. I'm outstanding. You're on the radio, so please don't curse.
I won't.
Why didn't you answer the 842 number? That was the radio's number. We were trying to call you. We were going to play 50 Cent and the whole bit and wish you a happy birthday.
You see, this day and age, I don't answer numbers I don't know.
That's exactly what I told everybody. I said, there's no way she answers. That's why I tried to call you.
Yeah, and then I saw I was getting ready, so then I was like, let me call Ralph back.
I appreciate that. Well, happy birthday for my audience, for my producer, Chris Burdick. Happy birthday, and I will see you in a little bit. You excited?
All righty. Yes, I am. I always love Mexicali.
All right, very good. I'll see you in a little while.
All right.
All right, happy birthday, girlie.
Thank you.
All right, see you later. Taylor Arieh. I knew she wouldn't answer the 842 number. I'm shocked she called me back, but I'll see you in a little bit. I wish she hadn't told everybody where we're having dinner, but It's the only time I eat in the restaurant. It's the only time I eat in the restaurant when I go to parties. I don't even eat in the middle portion. That's where Sakini likes
I usually eat in the big room or the room with the big table. I mean,
that's where we're going to be. That's where we're going to be. I never eat in the restaurant. I'm the bar guy. Love having the TV there. Hell, I might be there Monday afternoon. You never know. Indiana, Miami. That's going to be a damn good ball game. Were you blown away that our boy likes Miami?
I was shocked.
Let me put it. My grandmother would say it. He done lost his mind. I don't see anybody beating Indiana. I like Miami. I predicted did I not predict the finals?
Oh, sure.
When it first started, I said right from the get-go, Indiana, Miami. But I don't think anybody stops this team. I think they just believe in each other. They feel like they're the underdog, even though they're what? 7.5 point favorites. I think they feel like the underdog, because like Brandon pointed out, this team is full of 5-star athletes in terms of how they gauge them on a high school level. Bunch of 4-star athletes. Indiana, you want to know how many 4 or 5-star athletes Indiana has? 0. None. Not even Mendoza was a 4 or 5-star athlete. Went to Berkeley first. Went to Cal. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen the video where they go to Detroit and they ask everybody, all the Lions fans, where Goth went to school? And like 3 people came up with it. The only reason I know is because my high school football coach, Gary Fowler, is a Cal Bear. And he took me to the one game he took me to was Northwestern versus Cal. It was Goth's freshman year. He lit it up as a freshman. They lost to Northwestern. It was like 44-31. And I had to do the fake thing because I bet on Northwestern. And I was sitting with and driving home with a Cal alumnus. And so I had to be like, yeah, Cal. Yeah, Northwestern scored. Oh. And I think I had the over. I think I parlayed it, as a matter of fact. It's a great story. That was a great story. What else I got going on? Have I played the Busfield stuff?
No.
Should we take a break first? Yeah, let's take a break first and come back. Timothy Busfield is in a peck of trouble. We'll hear this package about further allegations against the star on ER, 30-something, and you may remember him from Field of Dreams. And if you're as old as I, you may remember him as a kid in The Revenge of the Nerds. Was he the guy that played the violin?
I'm thinking yes.
I think so too.
He was the red-haired kid
with the weird glasses. Yeah. Quick time out. We're coming right back, wrapping this thing up on a Friday, headed into a 3-day weekend and an unbelievable Saturday, Sunday, Monday of NCAA and NFL football. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KRN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and
Messmaker.
Day Right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Tuesday edition of the First Look program, we're pretty much topped off California's drought-free, but we'll check on the latest on water news with the best in the business. That's Lois Henry from sjbwater.org. We'll have football stuff, and we'll have state-of-the-art news, traffic, and weather. 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Hope you were with us yesterday at 4:30 when Daniel Petrie made his weekly appearance. Be honest. How many of you knew, until we had Daniel come on the show and report, that silver is going out of the roof and gold is right behind it? That's why Daniel is such a great, informative person on this broadcast, and certainly as an investor. As I talk about, you know what Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about. They're all about retirement and investing in the fourth quarter of your life. And if, like me, you're in that fourth quarter, call Daniel at 395-9400, 395-9400. As I always remind you, his office is right here downtown on the corner of 21st and Oak. Daniel Petrie with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors.
broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future, option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here for Sanguera Subaru. I can't believe it's 2026, but here we are, and I say it's time to relax after all the holiday hustle and bustle. But obviously, there's a but coming. There always is. But for my buddies over at Sanguera, they are ramping up for 2026 with some incredible lease offers on new Subarus, like a new 2025 Crosstrek Premium CVT. Now through February 2nd, you can lease one for just $149 a month. That's right, a 2025 Crosstrek for just $149 a month for 36 months with $5,100 due at signing. And of course, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive, get you where you're going every time. This offer does end on February 2nd, so stop by and see Damon and Hassan and the whole gang. Pick out your Crosstrek and drive home in a brand new Subaru in 2026. Sanguera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Through February 2nd, 2026, lease a 2025 Crosstrek Premium CVT model code SRB-14 for $149 a month on a 36-month lease. $5,100 due at lease signing plus tax and license. Zero security deposit. 10,000 mile per year limit. 15 cent per mile overage. MSRP $32,688. VIN number SH325603. Financing for well-qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends 2/2/26.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Norma Diaz, owner of La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream.
Hi, I'm Norma Diaz from La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream, and I'm a client and friend of Paul Sheldon. I've known Paul for many, many years, and my parents happened to be his first clients. So, of course, I called Paul and immediately felt this peace come over me, knowing that I didn't have to freak out about making a big decision. His knowledge about Medicare and your health insurance needs are beyond compare, and I was taken care of immediately by his wonderful staff. He knew.
Anybody? Opinion? What do you think? Man, I only use them in here and at home. I don't take them out with me, although I should, so I can read menus and stuff, but.
And even if you have questions later, his staff can help you out. Those feelings are just priceless.
Nobody wants to chime in with an opinion?
You'll be glad you did.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Without a woman or a girl.
No, they are not the Gloria Vanderbilt collection. I was asking the YouTube audience about my new glasses. But like I said, I only use them here and in my bedroom. I don't take them out with me, although I should. Like tonight, I'm going to turn this. Can you read that? Well, it's Mexicali.
You know what's on
I
the
don't have
menu.
to read them. Yeah, exactly. I don't have to read the menu. What am I talking about? I know exactly what I'm going to have. I'm going to have a beef taco and a chicken enchilada, rice and beans.
There you go.
Or,
God,
if I wasn't playing 36 holes, I'd have the shrimp nachos. Because I've been taking Malapirinol. I haven't had a gout bout in a while. But that's threatening danger.
That's going to be a danger zone.
Shrimp. And I'm playing tomorrow, and I'm playing Sunday with swimming the guys at 8 o'clock. And I don't need to be gouty. As I mentioned, there are further allegations against Timothy Busfield, the man many of you may remember from 30-something, ER, as I mentioned, Revenge of the Nerds, this little kid, and most recently probably from Field of Dreams. Here is an ABC correspondent.
To stop. We're hearing harrowing words from one of actor Timothy Busfield's alleged victims. She claims when she was 16, he grabbed her and touched her inappropriately inside a theater. Les Trent has more, and we want to warn you, the details are graphic.
Actor Timothy Busfield has just been dropped by his talent agency as his child sex abuse case moves forward with startling new allegations that there is another victim. Now the alleged victim is coming forward, releasing this statement. When I was 16 years old, I interned at B Street Theater. About 4 months into the internship, Tim asked me to clean his office. I was on a ladder cleaning. He came up behind me and grabbed my crotch, pulled me down from the ladder while touching me inappropriately all over aggressively. I begged him to stop, and he told me to be quiet because his son and brother's wife were in the other room. She says she pushed him away and ran. In a phone call with Inside Edition, the girl's father calls Busfield a serial pedophile predator and alleges he is, quote, the Jeffrey Epstein of Hollywood. The incident allegedly happened in 2001 in Sacramento, but the dad just reported it to police after learning of Busfield's arrest for allegedly engaging in unlawful sexual conduct with twin brothers on the set of the TV show The Cleaning Lady. The prosecution cited in court papers the newest allegations involving the girl, calling Busfield an ongoing danger to any child placed within his proximity. In a statement, the B Street Theater tells us it was aware of the alleged incident from 25 years ago and retained legal counsel at the time to conduct an internal investigation, and Mr. Busfield has not had any role in the organization since 2001. Busfield is denying the allegations.
I'm going to confront these lies. They're horrible. They're all lies. And I did not do anything to those little boys.
His wife, Melissa Gilbert, from Little House on the Prairie fame, is expressing support for her husband, but remaining out of the public eye. Meanwhile, fans are showering her social media with supportive posts like, "Sending love to Melissa."
The first known allegation against Timothy Busfield was in 1994 by a 17-year-old girl. He denied it, and that case was settled privately.
You see what I'm saying? He has the presumption of innocence. But pedophilia is not something that just pops up. You heard in that package, the first assertion, the first allegation was made in 1994. Then a second allegation was made in 2001. And now a third pops up? And that's just a coincidence? That is damning as hell. And again, it is who they are. They cannot stop. It would be essentially like a man stop having sex. Yes, I know he's been married to Melissa Gilbert for a long time, but just like Cosby had a wife, for some men, I think there is a weird click for them to put it rudely and bluntly, get off. And they need, whether it's a form of necrophilia, as it was for Dr. Cosby, or a need for children and boys, allegedly for Mr. Busfield. It just doesn't seem to me that an innocent man in a, 30-year period gets accused 3 different times by 3 different children that he touched them inappropriately. Again, assuming the presumption of innocence, I'm sorry, he seems guilty as sin, if you ask me. But what do I know? And certainly we'll follow this as it goes along. It's just an incredible story of a guy that I admired. I thought he was a great actor. Like I said, I've never really seen Field of Dreams all the way through, but I was a ER West Wing freak, and he played a great role. They put up a great, as a former journalist, they put up a great scenario of him and his fightings with Allison Janney, who played the press secretary. And to even further complicate it, which I don't think this is really possible, but there was a relationship between the two. Now, that is as unethical as it gets. For the press secretary, for the president of the United States, to be sleeping with somebody who's covering her boss, that doesn't happen. Yes, there's a lot of interaction, reporters date reporters, but and yes, there have been some government stuff that people cross the bounds. You know, there's a reporter that was dating Marjorie Taylor Greene before she retired from Congress, a guy that covers the White House. But the press secretary dating a reporter that she has to answer questions to made a great fiction. You know, the dance that would go on between them when he had a story and he wanted her to confirm it. And he would threaten her with, "I'm going with this with or without you, so you might as well confirm it." And, you know, it was a good dynamic, but it wasn't realistic. It wasn't realistic. There's no way in the world a press secretary. Can you imagine if we could have exposed that, who was the lesbian, Corinne Jean-Pierre, was dating one of the reporters in the room, one of the women, I should say, in the room? Can you imagine? No, you lose all credibility. I don't care if you're working for the New York Times. You're sleeping with the press secretary? No, that doesn't happen. Let's read a couple text messages. Get to the bottom of the hour. We'll hear from Taryn Smith. Crazy white girl, that's what I call her. I admire her. Don't think I'm being a bigot. I love this girl. How you have the nads. And she looks like, have you seen the video?
I don't think I have.
You haven't looked at it? She doesn't look your age. She looks like she's 25, 26 years old. And she's crossing the Atlantic in a rowboat by her dammy. Whew! And waiting her to describe the one night that she had most recently. It's pretty frightening stuff.
I've listened to the audio while recording it, obviously, but I wasn't really paying attention to the video.
It's pretty frightening stuff. What do you got on board?
Every time I see see a video of people whale watching, I think of Mr. Tibbs.
When I see a whale breach, I think of Mr. Tibbs. I really do. Like I said, I owned that story. I somehow got the 911 video, which was hard to listen to hear his buddies totally panicked because they had no sailing experience. They had no boating experience. And if my memory serves, because again, it's been almost 25 years, they didn't know how to swim and the boat was sinking and they were panicked. They couldn't find Tibbs. And as if I remember correctly, and again, don't rely on my memory, but it was a foggy day and it took them a while to find Mr. Tibbs. And again, as I remember, they didn't know whether he died from the fall because he was catapulted off the boat. Again, you're just joining us. We were talking about Mr. Tibbs' ribs. A really nice man. His wife, real estate agent. Somebody in the chat room noted that they bought a home from Mrs. Tibbs, and her daughter's got a wonderful life, married, nice guy. But they were on a boating trip, and a whale breached, hit the bottom of the boat, and absolutely catapulted Mr. Tibbs to his death. And they're not certain whether he drowned or whether he died on impact. Because, I mean, people think water is soft. It is not. You get catapulted. You guys have done belly flops in a pool from what, like 3 or 4 feet? And how painful that is? You imagine getting catapulted maybe 40, 50 feet in the air and landing, hit your head. You get concussed, and now you're floating around in the middle of the ocean. Man, that's a tough way to go. Really nice man and great restaurant. I loved just the rib tips were the best. Please stand by. Speaking of ribs, who do you think it is?
Mike Guerrier.
Salty.
Oh,
I used to stop in his place for ribs. He was a great guy. Yes, he was, Salty. As are you, my friend. Have a good weekend. We head into the last half hour of the week. Don't forget, it's a 3-day weekend. We're dark on Monday. Be back on Tuesday with Teresa Goldner and the latest on so much. We'll talk a little football because we'll have an NCAA championship and the NBA, NFL playoffs will advance. Last half hour. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News.
Yeah, we should be able to start talking about Mike next week.
The Justice Department is investigating whether Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey have impeded federal immigration enforcement through public statements they've made. The investigation focused on potential violation of a conspiracy statute.
You ever had them?
Walz and Frey both issued statements calling it an attempt to intimidate them. As Iran returned to uneasy calm after a wave of protests that drew a bloody crackdown, a senior hardline cleric called Friday for the death penalty for detained demonstrators and directly threatened U.S. President Donald Trump. Evidence of the rage gripping authorities in the Islamic Republic. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 83 points. The NASDAQ dropped 14. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. Shell casings outside a house party on Cam Avenue in northern Lamont clued Kern County deputies in Wednesday night, and they say when they got a warrant, they found 3 pistols and an AK-47 inside the house and arrested 19-year-old Clisario Urias on a variety pack of charges. The murder conviction of Jose de Jesus Velasquez Gomez has been overturned because of mistakes by the prosecution. He was convicted of driving high on meth and causing a wreck in Lamont that killed 3 women November 3rd, 2024. Cal State Bakersfield's new STEM building is now being built at a cost of $83 million with a groundbreaking ceremony that was held Thursday morning. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Are you craving a mouth-watering sandwich that's packed with flavor? Then look no further than Caesar's Deli, where they craft some of the best sandwiches in town. Sink your teeth into our signature classic, Caesar's Special, featuring 2 kinds of salami, premium ham, and the irresistible taste of Nona's secret meat sauce. It's a sandwich experience that you won't forget, but that's not the only sandwich they offer. No. Satisfy your craving with a savory smoked turkey sandwich, or indulge yourself in the loaded pastrami, or for the adventurous eater, they offer pickled tongue. And here's the best part. Caesar's Deli has incredible lunch specials designed to fill you up without emptying your wallet. Plus, did you know that Caesar's Deli has a full-service deli offering a variety of over 60 meats and cheeses? It's a sandwich lover's paradise, and that's why Caesar's Deli has been a local favorite and proudly serving Bakersfield since 1971. Visit Caesar's Deli today and taste the difference for yourself. Located on the corner of Brim Hall and Callaway behind the beautiful water fountain.
Monday edition, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We'll break down everything going on in Venezuela, everything going on in Iran, and more. We'll have Florida Congressman and potentially the next governor of Florida, Byron Donald, with us as well. Make sure you put it on the calendar. Come hang with us. Monday edition. Clay.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show,
Oh,
The JR
shit,
Show.
I'm sore
Weekdays at
after
2 p.m.
18.
Now, back to the Ralph Bailey
My
Show.
thighs
On News
and
Talk
my back.
96.1 and AM 1180
Oh, yeah.
KERN.
Sing it, baby. Sounds like Andy. Did I tell you Crazy Angie called me recently? Yeah. And said, "You're not going to respond." I didn't respond. And then she texted me a third time saying, "Unbelievable. This is the woman who snuck into my complex and knocked on my window at 1 o'clock in the morning." Of course, I let her in. So then why are you complaining, Ralph Bailey? Shut up and move along with the show. We don't want to hear about your torrid lack of sex life. But I did let her in. That was my tragic flaw.
That is your fatal mistake, yeah.
Yeah, I should have set the boundaries right there, like, because I have a gate. For those who don't understand what I'm talking about, I have a gate that you have to punch in a code, and to this day, I haven't figured out how the hell she got inside the complex. I literally answered the door with my gun. I really did. Because I'm like, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. What the hell? Because I didn't even open the drapes. I wasn't going to open the drapes and let them see me. I kept the light off, reached down across my bed, grabbed my gun, and just kind of peeked through the peephole, stood there, and I was like, And I should be using her real name because she does listen. But yeah, had to put my gun down. Ralph Bailey. 842-5376-842-KERN. What do you got on the board?
I got a caller for you real
Who
quick.
you got?
Jerry's on the line.
Jerry, you're on the Ralph Bailey Show.
All right, Ralph, you never cease to amaze me, the situations you get yourself in.
I guess.
You're something else. No, I mean, it's like you say, sometimes we do things that logic tells us not to, but and we're thinking about something else. You know?
Yeah, I do have that problem.
Sure. Anyways, I want to talk about George Culver.
Yeah, great guy.
Did he happen to mention it? I tuned in while you were in the middle. Did he mention the book that he wrote?
No, you're right. I should have plugged that. Dadgummit. That's a great point. I should have plugged his great book. I've read it. It's an outstanding read. What's the title? How Did This Happen to Me or something like that?
The Earl of Oildale.
And what's the subtitle? Isn't the subtitle like How Did This Happen to Me or something like that?
I don't know, but all I know is that you can get it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's a great read, folks.
Look up George Culver.
Yeah.
The Earl of Oildale. And like you said, it's a great read. There's a lot of detail. I can't believe how sharp that man is. I had his baseball card in the 60s, you know.
Yeah.
And here's a guy sounds like a 40-year-old, you know, telling you about the you know, what's going on in the major leagues. And it's I almost got to meet him, you know, he likes to play golf, and Joe the Pro was going to introduce me, but he got sidetracked. But you know Joe the Pro Haggerty.
Oh, known Joe for years. He used to be a sponsor of mine at the when he was out in Wasco.
Oh yeah, that's where I started taking lessons from him. I'm an old baseball player, and he had me hitting line drives. 180 yards straight. You know, we get a 3-iron or whatever, and then I picked up the lessons with him, and he's great. But anyway, yeah, they come out there once in a while and meet. But
he's now at Seven Oaks, and if you want to meet George, I'm pretty sure he's going to be at the 4th Honor Flight Open on March the 23rd. So you might want to come out there and meet some of the veterans and the folks involved with Honor Flight, and all of our staff's going to be out there. And we'll be extending an invitation if we haven't already done so to George. So I'm pretty sure he'll be out there.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah, my dad was in that Honor Flight. He was a World War II pilot. He was in the Army. He used to shoot 50 caliber machine guns at Mitsubishi planes that were straight from the runway.
What's his last name? And what Honor Flight did he go on? What's his last name?
Rothberg. Rothberg, like the Roth IRA and a Berg iceberg. His name was Morris Rothberg.
What flight did he go on?
He went on, it was like the ones with the red jacket, and he met Kevin McCarthy and everything.
So it was a while back then.
Like a maroon, but you know what? Kevin McCarthy was great because he's always been great to our family. And he supports, but I support Honor Flight. I'm always giving donations. I've seen some of the send-offs, but you know what? It made his life complete. He wasn't, I mean, it's like you talk about completing everything. He lived to be 92, so he went on it.
What a great life.
Before he died. Yeah. And he was in the Philippines. He's got a Liberation of the Philippines ribbon, and long story, but he's a great guy. He's over in that cemetery. And then my brother, my father-in-law, he was in Vietnam and Korea.
Is he local?
No, he passed away too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So that's all right. Everybody gets old, and but that cemetery is wonderful. I was there when her dad went first, and he was in that. They had the Tohon Indians. They weren't even officially a tribe, and they like consecrated the land, and they went out there and blessed it. I mean, imagine what Tohon Ranch and those people did for our veterans. We would have had to go down the riverside.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Pop.
Yeah, so.
I got to fly.
Hey.
Thanks so much for the call. I appreciate it.
Hey, great job. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
842-5376, 842-KERN. What else you got on the board?
He barbecued those ribs in the parking lot. It was sad to see him go that way.
Yeah, it really was. Talking about Mr. Tibbs and Mr. Tibbs ribs. You could be driving down that street. What is that, Ming? They were off of Ming and, was it White Lane they were off of? They were in a mall. I do remember that. And, yeah, I just remember the rib tips. Those are my favorite.
It was like Plans and Stein.
Stein, that's right. And you could the rib bones were so soft I would just eat the whole damn rib tip. Just throw it in my mouth. It was great. Really great. And just a it's one of the craziest stories I ever covered. It really was. His dying from a breaching whale that catapulted him into the sea and to his death. Just absolutely insane. What else you got?
I'd be curious if they do end up charging Kathy Scrivener with something. Can she hire AJ Sala, or is there a conflict of interest because he represented Zach, although that's being adjudicated?
That's a great question. Those are two great questions. I don't know. And where would the prosecution come from? Because who is the head prosecutor? Chris Burdick?
Sorry, of which case? Kathy's?
Of the county.
Oh, that would be, wouldn't that be Zimmer?
Her sister.
Yeah.
So who's going to prosecute her? Zimmer can't do it.
It'd probably pass
it. Would have to. It would have to go to another county, or it'd have to go to the AG's office. And we know how reliable the AG's office is. But it'd be interesting. I know there was a former KHSD board member who came out today calling for not only criminal charges, as Shannon Grove has, which was remarkable and stunning, but that Kathy Scrivener retire immediately. I got off to a fast start, and maybe my ego got in the way because we broke the story on Monday, and there was a KHSD meeting that Monday, and I predicted, and even 17 aired my prediction, made me look like a knucklehead, but I predicted that the meeting would be packed, and it would be full of people that was demanding Kathy Scrivener's that she quit. And it didn't dawn on me that our show ended at 6 o'clock. The meeting started at 6 o'clock. So most of the people that were in that meeting did not hear our show and weren't aware of what the sheriff said. But now that the Los Angeles Times has picked up the story, that the New York Post has picked up the story, that 17 has been running with the story all week long and added another avenue of the story today that a former trustee is calling for her departure, that 23 picked it up. Now the momentum is rolling. Now the momentum is rolling. And the fact that Shannon Grove, again, showed the temerity, because, again, I do believe that she and Kathy Scrivener and the whole Scrivener family are friends with Shannon Grove, that she had the temerity to come out and stand up for that what is right. That there is audio, as the sheriff told us at the beginning of the week, of Kathy Scrivener telling her kids, just be quiet. And as not only as a citizen, but as a mandated reporter, she is 100% obligated to report that, even if it's her son. And as I've told you, and I think most of you are probably raised similarly to how I was raised, my parents always told me, you get into trouble, don't call us. Don't call us. I'm not going to aid and abet you. I'm not going to bail you out of jail. And if you're wronged and we feel you're wronged, we will pay for an attorney to fight. But if we feel you're guilty, don't look for us for solace. And it just amazes me that the victims in this story isn't something that Zach, stubbed his toe and made an error that caused some detriment to him. This impacts 4 young children. And the idea that anyone would do anything to defend somebody that would harm those 4 children, particularly their grandmother, is just a world of which I am not familiar. Because I'm telling you, Sadie Bailey, if she thought I molested any one of my nephews, the late Sadie Bailey, my grandmother would have ratted me out like that without even hesitating. Baby, I'm sorry, but it's just like when I got detained for tearing up the Fox Hills Mall in a backhoe. I begged my grandmother for 2.5 weeks before my parents came back from vacation. Grandma, we really don't have to tell Daddy. It can just be between me and you. Baby, I got to tell your father. No, you really don't, Grandma. This went on for 2 weeks, particularly when it was like 48 hours before their flight came in. Come on, Grandma, please. Baby, I got to do what's right. How can I look my son in the face if I don't tell him what his son is up to? Easily. You love your grandson. He's a grown-ass man. I'm just getting started. Help a brother out. No. First thing she said to my parents, welcome back. I got bad news. I'm lurking in the hallway. Damn. Immediately. Did she have to lead with it? Like she couldn't work her way? Like, how was the trip? Do you have any problems? Everything's good, but no. How was the trip? Is that right? Well, I got some bad news. I just slunk back to my bedroom and waited for the ass whooping. I think I was too old at that point. I'm not sure if I got an ass whooping for that one. The Fox Hills Adventure? No, I was 13, 14. Yeah. He was mostly mad at what I'd put his mother through. He was more mad at that than me operating a backhoe on a construction site. The fact that his mother had to come pick me up at the Lenox station on Hawthorne Boulevard, when my grandmother at that point really shouldn't be driving anywhere. Yes. Who was it on the phone just a couple of minutes ago?
Jerry.
Jerry, you're right. I've led a pretty sordid, crazy, wild, and ridiculous life. Final break of the night, final break of the week. We're dark on Monday, back Tuesday with Teresa Golder. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 AM 1180 KERN. We stream live at KernRadio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's been easy to do the Armstrong and Getty Show the first 2 weeks of the year. Craziness.
I'd say, yeah, chaos in.
You ready? 3, 2. I think George Culver's right. I think this $240 million signing of Kyle Tucker has tipped the balance, and there's no way in the world that the owners are not going to demand a salary cap. And the response from the players are going to be hell no, which is going to lead to a work stoppage in 2027. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Tuesday TRBS. We're out of here on Dr. King's Monday, but Teresa Golden will be with us on Tuesday, and we'll have the results of not only the national championship, but the NFL playoffs. All of that plus me at 3. It's TRBS, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Happy King Day, everybody.
Or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI. It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
I didn't stop
Eight 842-537-6842. KERN. What do you got?
Let's see,
Writing
a
out-
couple more here.
writing
First
out the
one
card.
says, I played at a local golf course today. There weren't only divots in the fairway. There were gopher holes with mounds of dirt, no grass areas, and tire tracks. If I didn't move my ball out of divots, etc., I would have ruined a club or two. There are quite a few local courses that are under these conditions. I move my ball when needed. I'm pretty sure Nick doesn't golf at courses with these conditions. If he did, he would change his tune about playing where it lies.
Talk about having Nick Ragone on earlier in the week, and we talked about some of the new PGA rules, and I pointed out that I completely disagree with the rule to play it where it lies, when it lies in the fairway in a divot hole. For those who don't play golf, when you hit an iron, you create 7-8 times out of 10, unless you absolutely pick it, and only the pros can really do that, you create what's called a divot. And if you're a good golfer and you care about the golf course that you play on, they provide you with 2 containers of sand, and you are supposed to fill the hole in with sand. Not everybody does that. At BCC, at Bakersfield Country Club, most of the members who have invested in their own golf course absolutely do that. But you're still hitting out of a sand-filled hole, which to me makes no sense. The whole point of golf is aiming and putting it where you're supposed to. And you are supposed to put it on the fairway. And you are rewarded if you hit it on the fairway, because the fairway is flat and even and makes it a much easier shot than if you miss the fairway and you're in what is called the rough. And it just depends on what golf course you're in. If you're at Sundale, the rough is extremely high. There are parts of Sundale Golf Course where you can't reach the green from 150 yards if you're in the rough, unless you can just, super muscle it out with like maybe a 5-iron from 150 yards, which is ridiculous. But so, and Nick completely disagrees and thinks that you should play. In fact, he told us he practices out of divots on the driving range, which I've never heard of. But yeah, at BC, when I play public courses, you can only bump it on the fairway. But again, I am fortunate enough because of people I know, to be blunt, that I get an opportunity to play at Bakersfield Country Club, which when you hit the fairway, there's absolutely no reason to bump the ball because you've got a perfect lie. And yeah, there are other places that are a little spotty, particularly the county courses, because Kern River, I think, is the most, or at least back in the day when I played there, was the most played golf course in town. And you get young people and you get folks that don't play on a regular and people that don't have the etiquette that most of us have, and they don't fill their divots. And yeah, I just totally disagree with that rule. I think you should be rewarded if you put it on the fairway. One more, and then I've got to change clothes, and I'm off to a local restaurant celebrating a young woman's birthday.
A whale breach onto your boat and killing have to be like getting struck by lightning or being eaten by a shark.
Yeah, but it happens. Oh, I didn't get to play Terrence Smith. Dang gummit. You got to remind me when I start rambling. Ralph, you had me cut this audio. We might as well play it. I've been trying to play this for how long now? Like 3 days? Been trying to get this girl on the show. She's a great girl. She's this young white woman. I call her crazy white girl, who I just caught on the reels as I go to bed at night. And she's rowing her way across the Atlantic. And she's got great stories. She's very upbeat. And what I love about her entries, she's doing this on a daily basis, is there are bad days. And the one that we were going to play was one where she said she almost got rolled by a rogue wave, but because her rowboat is so bottom heavy, it can't capsize. And she talks about the equipment. And then in another separate audio that we'll play on Tuesday, although it'll be 4 or 5 days late, we'll probably have some more updated video from her by then. But she talks about a school of, what is it? Don't tell me. A pod of dolphins that were kind of circling her boat. And then there's another great story. I don't know if I sent you this one, where she had a bird follow her for like 500 miles. And of course, she made, what comparison did she make from what motion picture? The bird following her in her boat. This is difficult, but you can think it out.
Castaway?
Yes, brilliant. Yes. She called the bird Wilson. And she literally said, I'm not trying to steal from Tom Hanks, but when the bird finally disappeared after 500 miles, I did go through a little minor depression. Wilson! My high school classmate, Josh McLaughlin, was the second director on that film. I got to get out of here. A 3-day weekend for Chris and I. We'll see you Tuesday. For Burnick, I'm Bailey. Have a great King Day. See you Tuesday.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has vowed she will lead the country when the right time comes. Speaking at the Heritage Foundation, Machado says the acting president there is part of a criminal regime and not the one to lead Venezuela into a democratic future.
Delcy Rodriguez, yes, she's a communist. She's the main ally and representation of the Russian regime, the Chinese and the Iranians. But that's not the Venezuelan people, and that's not the armed forces as well. So I am profoundly confident that we will have an orderly transition.
Her comments come a day after she gave President Trump her Nobel Peace Prize medal, calling it a recognition of his commitment to Venezuela's freedom.
Breaking with the United States, Canada reached a tariff reduction deal with China. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
During a visit to Beijing, Canadian Prime Minister Carney announced that his country has agreed to cut its 100% tariff on Chinese electric cars in return for lower tariffs on Canadian farm products. Both countries are pursuing improved relations with each other after their economies have been hit by U.S. tariffs imposed by President Trump. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The Justice Department is investigating whether Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry have impeded federal immigration enforcement through public statements they've made. The investigation focused on potential violation of a conspiracy statute. Walz and Fry both issued statements calling it an attempt to intimidate them. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 83 points, the NASDAQ dropped 14. More at townhall.com.
Maybe this is you too. There's enormous frustration right now with healthcare costs. It is amazing. Healthcare costs for families in the last 20 years have almost tripled, and it just keeps getting worse. All this to say, this is why MediShare is so in demand right now. People are looking for alternatives, and MediShare is proven. You can save thousands of dollars a year.